Welcome back, everybody, to the Gears Winter Major presented by the Batman. By the way, my first time seeing that free Flexions video, and I approve. Taylor, much love. Thank you for being so free. Fallout here alongside Fran back on the desk. You already know we had to bring him on prior to this Rise matchup alongside Ryan Fools. And with that said, we do have a crazy one coming up. It's going to be Rise versus the Pittsburgh Knights, about to be live on screen here. Let's get started in breaking down these two rosters. Franchise, starting with you, talking about this PK roster, what you've seen so far from them today.
Well, I mean, honestly, they were a little cold today. They didn't start off too hot. They looked real bad, but they brought it back. That's what matters at the end of the day. Getting the W is what really matters. Facing some adversity kind of early. I've always said it kind of helps you in the long run. You always want to be clean. You always want to get 3-0s, but you have to face some sort of adversity. And with not a new roster, but a new member of the team, going through that with them, seeing how everyone reacts to that adversity, it's always nice. It's always nice to have, and I just can't wait to see what they do against Rise.
Yeah, and even better when you get to face that adversity and still come out with a win. Obviously a little different if you come out with a loss. So that's a good situation. Obviously on the Rise side, a little adversity that they faced as well to some former teammates, former competitors, former rivals in Kenny, Summons, and co. Ryan, this Rise squad struggled, but also turned it around.
Yeah, very similar story to PK, right? They went down early 0-2, very, very close maps, and then you got to wonder, man, are they going to get upset on a Saturday? But no, they do bring it back, and I think it's because of the fact that this team just has a ton of playmaking ability. You look at all four of these guys, man, at any point in time, these guys can all go off for a big play. Of course, they bring back INZEM, a guy who's really known for his individual skill and playmaking ability, so again, not a huge surprise that they kind of did manage to turn around and get it done, but as they get later in this bracket, they do not want to be in that spot again.
That's right. We'll see. One of those teams will be in the spot of the losers bracket, though, as a result of this matchup. Let's take a look at the map picks and bans. Starting off with the bans here. Franchise, walk me through what we saw banned.
All right, so I mean, we don't really see Rise play a lot of Spire, so that's not surprising. And then you have PK banning Regency. Now, that I thought that was going to be an obvious ban just because Rise has proven that they're great at Regency, but there we go. So then, I don't know, it's kind of hard to say why that was banned, considering Rise has struggled on Regency this split. But maybe that's just PK thinking they're just not as confident to play them on that map. So, we'll see. And then we see Canal's Execution being banned. Avexys, hey, I was surprised when Avexys was picked as the sniper on Canals, but he's proven me wrong. I mean, the guy has been lights out on that map. He's a highlight reel on that map, so it's very interesting to see these bans.
Meanwhile, Ryan, we got the picks. Talk me through it.
Yeah, I'm loving this District Control map one, right? These two teams have so much sort of, playmaking ability, individual skill. That District's going to be very, very fun. We just watched a very, very close District Control before, so looking forward to that. Check out Execution. Of course, you did see that ban coming through of Canals. Really like that ban coming through from the Knights, so we're going to see some Checkout Execution. And if we go all the way down to the wire, we're going to have some Clocktower Execution, which I know the three of us Gears 1 guys probably are very excited to see, but I think I kind of have my sights set on that Harbor Escalation. I know it's kind of the cliche thing to say that Escalation kind of is the turning point, but both of these teams have a very kind of storied history on that map, so that to me is kind of the X Factor map.
Yeah, interesting to see that map number 3, Harbor Escalation, that's for sure. And each of these teams obviously have strengths, have weaknesses. I would love to hear some thoughts on keys to success here. I believe we're starting with the Pittsburgh Knights first. Franchise, talk me through the keys to success here for PK.
I mean, honestly, they have to start out with confidence. I mean, they both teams went down early, but I think it really matters to PK to play with confidence. I mean, this is why Fearzly was brought to this team. He's a strong slayer. Some people could say he's a top 10 slayer. But I mean, he brings that X factor, and you have to use it. I mean, the team is loaded with superstars. The kings of LATAM. So I just want to see them do it. I want to see them come out and punch Rise in the face. Let's see if they can do that and put them on their heels. And then you also have to capitalize on mistakes, right? So we all know Rush is the guy that's always going to be hiding around the corner, that's going to try to capitalize when you're not looking, but can you find him? Can you find the stragglers? Can you capitalize on those mistakes? That's going to be a key to win this one.
That's your former team right there. You're saying you want to get punched in the face. Fran, where's your loyalty? No, I'm just kidding. On the flip side, Mr. Unbiased himself. On the flip side, we got Rise. Ryan, what are their keys to victory?
Yeah, for me with Rise, man, no more slow starts, right? You cannot put yourself in that 0-2 hole. I know both of these teams did that, but in particular Rise, if you put yourself in an 0-2 hole against this Pittsburgh Knights team, they are not going to give you the same opportunities to come back and get that reverse sweep. So I think that that's going to be very, very important to keep the series close early. Don't let them run away with it. And I think if you're going to beat this Pittsburgh Knights team, Rise has to fire on all cylinders. That means that all 4 players on this roster have to be playing at a high level. No one can be slacking if you're going up against the Knights team, because if any one player really is kind of not holding their weight, the Knights will make them pay.
All right, well, there you have it. Keys to victory for both teams, what we need to see from these two squads, and that leads us right into predictions. I've been waiting for this segment because I honestly, it's a tough call. Almost borderline 50-50 between these two teams, given they both struggled in round 2. They both obviously played well in Pro League. Pittsburgh, obviously number 1 in Pro League. But with that said, I'm interested to hear your thoughts. Franchise, starting with you. Who you got?
All right, so this one's tough, man. This one's tough because my guys on Rise, man. Look, I'm sorry. I'm gonna start off this way. I'm sorry. You know, you guys are my guys, but I will say this: I picked PK to win this event before this split started. When I knew the roster, those are the guys that I'm looking at winning this event. So I have to go with them. I have to go with that narrative. And you know, I'm sorry. Like I said, I'm sorry. I do think PK is a more complete team. I feel like they can do a little bit of both. And they just edge them out. That's just how I feel about it.
Yeah, it's a unbiased analysis and prediction. Appreciate that, Fran. Ryan, who you got?
Yeah, this one was really, really hard. I almost decided to flip a coin. I didn't. I tried to put some thought power into this, but I'm also going to go with the Pittsburgh Knights. I do think that this team is just a little better. Again, they both started my day off by saying, I don't like what I see from either of them. So that was kind of made it a little hard to choose this one. But I do think sort of with the Pittsburgh Knights, they've always been a team that even with whatever rosters in front of us, they do traditionally always get better as time goes on. They do always look better on Saturday than they do on Friday, and a lot of times they look better on Sunday than they do on Saturday. So to me, I'm going to give the Knights the benefit of the doubt, and I was completely wrong in the last series, so I might have just cursed them. I'm sorry if I did, but I am going to go with the Knights personally.
Yeah, well, you know, I typically like to, you know, go against the grain a little bit, but I'm going to follow my heart and my mind here. I think the Pittsburgh Knights are going to take this. Reason being, for me, again, so 50-50, it's insane. These two teams are very evenly matched. I think it'll be a bloodbath. But at the end of the day, the Pittsburgh Knights, obviously all being in person together on land next to each other, having had a chance to kind of go back through the VOD and review what went wrong, that is the factor that inches them a little closer. In addition to what franchise said, I think they'd have a little more firing power as well. So Pittsburgh Knights, a little more of a complete team in my eyes. But again, this could go either way. I think it's going to be a hell of a match. Sounds like we all got the Pittsburgh Knights. And I'm interested to hear what the casters say here. Let's bring them in. I want to hear their predictions. We got Taylor and PR. Who y'all got taking this one? Taylor, starting with you.
Hey, PK, man. PK's been looking unstoppable. They go to distance with Team Queso. Meanwhile, Rise goes to distance with retirement. Now, I know retirement's
I changed my prediction then.
They got a lot of great people on the
Taylor
roster.
said PK.
Hey, what?
I changed my prediction.
Whoa.
If Taylor says Free Flexion says PK, I got Rise winning this one. I'm
True.
just playing, Taylor.
My mind's blown
Yeah.
right now because I feel like we didn't even discuss this, but he read my mind. Going game 5 against Team K is not TQ is not too surprising. They've been growing all split long, but going game 5 against a team of retired players that don't necessarily play, they tried a little bit of Halo, then they came back, and that's to me really concerning.
That's a good point, too. That's a very valid point. All right, we're 5 for 5. All of us going with the Pittsburgh Knights. That probably is going to piss some Rise boys off.
I'll say usually there's like a screenshot, right? If everyone chooses like the prediction of one team, someone always screenshots it and puts it up. Now there's gonna be like a 5-man screenshot. Like, got all 5 of you.
Everyone thumbs up and smile
Rise
here.
is about to hit this spectacular right now.
This is all happening because of Taylor. Let's establish that.
Let's say
It is Taylor's fault.
Oh,
It is.
PK, we apologize.
Mr.
Yeah.
Free, the
Change his
alter
pick
ego.
for him on the graphic. Please change it for him.
All right, guys, wait.
Fine, the Rise
Enough
is
of
gonna
us.
win.
Let's get this match started, man. Let's get the show
A
on
lot
the
of channel
road.
points have been earned because of me. I just want to say first and foremost, since Fran wants to throw me into the bus, that's okay. I was looking at Fran, Jacob, and I'm seeing you got Fallout on the left. He's wearing a nice Astro hoodie. You got Ryan on the right, wearing a beautiful Astro hoodie, and then you got Fran in the middle, looking like a lumberjack with the flannel shirt.
Hey.
But he's like, oh, I gotta wear red and black too
you
because I gotta
can't-
match them in
you,
some
you
way.
can't talk about it, right? And I'm not saying it to defend Fran, right? I'm not saying it at all. Because Icy, if he hears you talk about that red flannel, he's going to pop out of retirement too, and he's going to come at you next. So you better be careful.
Ice is not here though.
But he's
I'm
waiting.
here, and
but
you're here.
he's
That's
just,
all I'm saying.
Yo, he popped up. He's red flannel. Who said that? Who's talking about red flannel?
He's got USA pajama pants on too, with the red
bro,
flannel.
You don't mess.
All right, yet he's
you
over
don't
here going
mess
with
with
Pittsburgh
Icy.
Knights.
And I'm
he's
calling
more
it now.
confused than Colin is.
I'm calling it
You know
now
what I'm
because of
saying?
this retirement team. Icy's coming back. Icy's on that retirement roster. I don't know who he's replacing, but Icy's back on that roster. I don't know who.
He's not on the roster now. And by the way, that roster, I just want to say, all jokes aside, retirement is killing it. The fact that they have made it this far is truly impressive. And if they can make it at the top 6, I know Colin is going to be really, really happy. Team Case is going to give them a run for their money. But a match before us, Pittsburgh Knights as well as Rise. This is a big matchup. Why is that, Jacob? Well, because this one decides who's going to move forward to winners finals. And when it comes down to it, both rosters making it to winners finals would be a big step forward. Granted, the work isn't done. To make it the grand finals, you got to win winners finals or losers finals. But this would be a big step forward, especially for Pittsburgh Knights. And I think that's the biggest narrative here because Latin America, we've been saying all split long. For split 2, this is their chance to finally win a major. And Pittsburgh Knights, well, they are carrying the torch. And so is Rebel, though. So is Rebel. Let me not count them out, too.
Yeah, always a bridesmaid, never a bride. They're hoping to get married this weekend. I'll tell you that much. Married to a champion. The Pittsburgh Knights are hoping to get married to a championship. Rise, on the other hand, I feel like they're both kind of fighting for their own type of thing. And like I said, Pittsburgh Knights, they want to finally win the big one at the end of the day. But Rise is having a stigma that I'm putting on them. I don't know if anybody else agrees, but they're starting to deflate very, very similar to the Latin American team. So this weekend, I feel like they just have so much to prove, not only to us, not only to Twitch chat, but to themselves as individuals and as a complete team.
Let's get it going. Map number 1 going to be District Control. Pittsburgh Knights versus Rise. Winner moves forward to winners finals, and losers, well, not out of the major just yet. They're going to drop down to the losers bracket, a place they don't want to be because, as we know, Jacob, getting closer and closer to losers finals, well, the teams you got to play against, whether it's losers or not, whether they drop down or not, it's always tough to play against them. So let's get it going, baby. Map number 1, and we all picked Pittsburgh Knights, and as I always like to say, when everybody's picking against you, now it's time to pull up and go big. Just like Bronny said in his interview, everybody thought a United would win. The pressure was on them. So for KCP, it gave them the edge that they were needing. So let's get it going. First round, first match, and the first fight underway.
And already, it's going to be Dezonide from the Pittsburgh Knights getting those first 2 quick downs on the Rushiez. The elimination's going to come in, but Avexys is doing what he can. He gets a double kill. Avexys gets a triple kill. And I know he's hunting for that 4-piece. You see him in a mini-map getting that cross onto Monkyz as DeToX going to be awarded that. Everybody from Rise putting in that work. INZEM being awarded that drop top. And already, Taylor, as the dust settles, it's going to be Rise who find themselves on top.
Rise on top, 20 points, already looking to prove us wrong. INZEM, drop shot in hand, 2 players in front. He'll send one flying. Monkyz will become a victim of that drop. And Raver now is forced to retreat. He doesn't have Monkyz with him, so now he's got to reposition, but he's having a hell of a time trying to get out of there. Full red, Rise on the hunt. But an opportunity persists, and Raver will get it down, but unfortunately it's only a down, not a cleanup, and Rise continues to pressure up, and eventually they will take him out. Pittsburgh Knights, though, do find some real estate in the current hill number 1. And they got to be focused on next, though. Right now, it's only scrap time. So with 14 seconds remaining, the rotation needs to come through.
Yeah, and I like the split right now out of the players of Rise as they set up for defense. Trying to get that information, which is going to be vital, and trying to figure out where to put the resources, where to position the troops. You see DeToX spots a couple players down low. They got the split that they want. Now they can try to converge on their enemies, but it looks like they're trying to hold. Too much damage being taken at the low portion. Rushiez and DeToX forced out of that position, and the split is still in. Monkyz continues to cross from a different position, and he's going to get the down onto DeToX. 2v1 coming in onto INZEM. Fearzly there to turn the tides once more as the sandwich continues from the Pittsburgh Knights. Slowly but surely, they suffocate the players of Rise, and this is absolutely needed. You don't want to let the score get away from you too early.
You can't let the score get away from you too early. These are 2 teams that you got to put them in the grave early on, and Pittsburgh Knights does a great job at keeping that pressure up, but it's also imperative Rise does exactly the same. Pittsburgh Knights catching up. We might see them take their first lead of the game. Still very early on. I'm expecting the score, Jacob, to transfer hands, or at least the lead, excuse me, to transfer hands quite a bit through the entirety of this map number 1 district control. Fearzly trying to lock down green. Meanwhile, Monkyz in a 1v1. Bit of a misroll. DeToX gets a nice pop shot.
Oh my God.
Monkyz doubles back and gets the kill. In my opinion, he shouldn't have got that, but he did.
Yep, you can kind of already see 30 seconds left on the clock. Because of those key eliminations in different parts around the map, Rise is forced to retreat and play for that next hill. Avexys letting loose on that drop shot a little bit sooner than he wanted, but he connects with that elimination onto Monkyz. 2v1 here, indoor spawn. Cross coming over the top, but Fearzly finds a way to take down Avexys without taking too much damage. So now they have quickly inserted themselves deep in toward this spawn and have already shut down the momentum had on the side of Rise after that initial, and it's already being answered back. They get 2 quick eliminations and downs that are going to be cleaned up in quick succession, and they continue to find those eliminations. The last one alive is going to be Raver. After they go ahead and take him out, hopefully without any eliminations on his side, they're going to be able to set up defensively and begin to go ahead and cut down the lead and eventually take the lead back.
Well, Rushiez hasn't had the strongest start. 3,400 damage, 2 assists, no kills to his name. Avexys, though, carrying the torch with 5 kills and 3,400 damage done. DeToX, though, obviously the damage leader for Rise at 5,100, but more is going to be needed, and I'm sure those stat lines are going to improve quite a bit. Rise has got to be feeling good, having full control of 50 full seconds at the moment. Meanwhile, Pittsburgh Knights still spread across the map, trying to figure out how do they want to penetrate this hill. And obviously, if they take too much time, right now, you're just fighting for scrap time, giving Rise an opportunity off the respawn to set up for the next hill. So Pittsburgh Knights should be attacking relatively soon, and this is where they're going to try and give it a good go. Shock is going to be in the back, pinning Rushiez to the right, but Pittsburgh Knights, they don't capitalize off of that. Meanwhile, Rushiez pushes up, and Pittsburgh Knights can't capitalize now as Rise pushes out. Fearzly tries to flank, but it should be short-lived, and it will be short-lived despite him getting 1 chunk. That was a great hold from Rise, and honestly, a bit too much time wasted for Pittsburgh Knights.
Yeah, right now, after these hill number 2 and hill number 3, this is just haymaker hold after haymaker hold. On hill number 2, the Pittsburgh Knights outscored them 48-0. Since that point, it's been 58-0 all Rise, and that's how you answer the call. And now it's going to be up to Dezonide here to figure out when he wants to use that drop shot, and they're already, and he gets the double kill. I was going to say we've seen some lackluster use up to this point, but he goes ahead and uses it to perfection. Monkyz wins a big, massive battle towards the outside, and now he's going to be able to affect this fight as well with a cross over the top, forcing DeToX back. The elimination's going to come in, and Dezonide spots the respawn players, so the Pittsburgh Knights know exactly where this push is going to come from. Now they just need to collect the information.
You also have Monkyz, who's going to have that shock. That's going to be helpful, especially for blocking that left side over there on bandstand. He's going to go ahead and potentially throw it out. 2 players in front. Does see DeToX. I don't know if he's aware that 1 player, I think that's Rushiez, tucked away in the corner, but going to go ahead and throw out that shock push. Rushiez, who's trying to get some chip damage, and he's going to make him pay. Meanwhile, in the hill, Fearzly holding his ground, taking down DeToX. A great hold, very controlled from Fearzly and Monkyz' perspective. And Rise obviously now trying to go once again for another break, maybe even set up for next. Meanwhile, Pittsburgh Knights doing a great job. I love the fact that they rotate early on, and Dezonide, beautiful kill on the flank of Rushiez. He gets picked back up, and Rise, thinking they can rotate early, establish themselves on the new hill, Jacob, but they weren't ready because Pittsburgh Knights was already there, and now Rise is once again going to challenge for scrap time, but Pittsburgh Knights, they're going to be well ahead of the game when it comes for next.
About 30 seconds on both of those power weapons, and the shock grenade and the drop shot, which last we seen it was Dezonide picking up a big double kill, and that's what puts the Pittsburgh Knights back on top and gives them this position. And you look at the position in your minimap, Raver towards the top half of the map, that's basically going to close down that whole spot. They're not going to be able to contest this drop shot too much because they would rather cement themselves with the hill, forcing Rise to try to make a play with the drop shot when they get it. The Raver here and how much damage he put out is key. He gets this down, that will be a huge success, but INZEM staying alive is no surprise either.
INZEM staying alive is critical. It really is. He needs to hold his ground where he's currently at. Any lane that you can shut down is going to be beneficial. Raver could be a huge impact. We've seen him make so many incredible plays throughout Split 2, and if you don't keep your eyes out for him, you never know if he's going to come behind you, get a big chunk, get a big play, or make a big play. And in this case, looking to get 2, but can't. And DeToX will open up a lane now to get onto the front side. INZEM with the drop, all eyes on him. He puts it away, though, banking on the fact that Rise wins the fight, and they will win the fight. So that was a big risk that he takes. but ultimately ends up paying off. And sometimes holding a drop shot is better than using it.
No, especially at this stage in the game where there's only scrap time left. You don't want to use a power weapon like that just to kind of get a little bit of reward. You want to save it. You want to rotate around the map just like this and possibly use it to overtake this hill when PK does set up. So I like how they're taking their time here. They're not just beelining across the map. They're waiting for reinforcements to come in, that newly spawned player right there in the form of Rushiez, for them to get the information and position around the map to try to figure out where is the best spot to use this drop shot.
We'll line it up eventually, I'm sure. While Rushiez in mid, trying to keep him out. INZEM drop shot. Oh, he's going to send that one flying. Surely not. Raver's up ahead. Only taking down one might be beneficial, but wait till your boys end up joining you. But maybe he's a bit concerned about how the midline plays are going down. But DeToX will win. INZEM did, in fact, hold on. And I'm glad he did that, man. If he would have sent that shot straight to Raver, in my opinion, it would have pretty much been wasted, even if he gets to kill on Raver, because Pittsburgh Knights would have already refreshed. So the fact is, as soon as Pittsburgh Knights go up to try and even contest this hill, INZEM is ready.
There's going to be another drop shot coming up sooner rather than later as well. So INZEM lets that one loose just so they can take advantage and try to maximize the hill time before that next one does actually come up. And it actually is. So that's going to be up for grabs for the Pittsburgh Knights. DeToX trying to make a rotation. Almost gets caught off guard, but he actually does. DeToX does get taken out. Fearzly drops out of Avexys, and he does so without using the drop shot. And this is where I would say it's very, very similar to that last drop shot. You don't necessarily want to use it in this positioning, but he lets it low regardless. Okay. Gets a double kill, but only one of those was a player that was up. The other one was down. DeToX pushing through this arcade, getting an elimination, trying to stay alive no matter what happens here. It's about the time he buys his teammates to get around the map as you go. We're going to go back to the beginning cycle of hills, and that's where Rise has most of their players already at.
Already there. Pittsburgh Knights are going to have to force them out, but 169 to 173. It is definitely a tense game, as to be expected, between these two wonderful rosters. Make no mistake about it, Rise does not want to lose to Pittsburgh Knights, and the same way the other way around. Good cleanups coming up from Rise. Pittsburgh Knights, a four-man push from front, gets shut down in a dominant fashion. Rise doesn't lose a single man in cinema.
The single soul is going to be dropped. 75 possible seconds up for grabs, and Rise already has about 10-15 seconds of that time. Monkyz doesn't want to let too much go before he tries to make a contestation play. Great smoke over the top. That's going to allow Monkyz to be a little bit more comfortable. Flash thrown towards the side to try to distract, to try to stun some players out. Great shots by Dezonide. That's going to down out of Avexys. Allow Raver to clean that one up. Back-to-back downs by Dezonide. One of the best support players that we have, and honestly, he's one of the best flex players overall, from IGL to Pyre Weapon to supporting, just like you see there, doing everything that the team needs and more, as you see him picking up that last 30 seconds of scrap time. And this is where Rise has to make the decision. Do you give up that scrap time, or you try to make a rotation and get the next position on the map?
You might be able to, maybe half and half it, which I think we're seeing at this point in time. You see Pittsburgh Knights break up 2, Rise will break up 2, and meanwhile, the other 2 members from Rise can push in and play for the scrap time. They just have one more to deal with. That's going to be Fearzly. Fearzly head down straight into INZEM. His only play he can make. Retreating wasn't an option, and obviously he falls to the wayside. But because they did split up 2 and 2, Rise was banking on the fact they can hold on to the fresh hill, but they don't. And Pittsburgh Knights, based off of that last hill in cinema, because they got the bulk of the last 30 points, Jacob, they have a minor lead. That minor lead can be a bit scary to look at, only for the fact that we're playing to 300. Pittsburgh Knights well on their way to a victory, and they're set up for the next hill. And PK, at least on the later portion of this map, has been slaying out. They've been slaying a lot better than that of Rise, so they seem to have the advantage and the momentum right now.
Yep. Decent trade by Rushiez. That makes this kind of a 1v1 in towards the middle, allowing INZEM at least an opportunity in the shot, especially with a cross over the top. But unfortunately, Raver has a similar helping style in the form of Fearzly, able to get that elimination onto INZEM. So it's going to be a trade just for now, just like it's going to be a trade in positioning, which is why for now the hill is going to be stalemated. Fearzly is trying to inch it in the favor of the Knights, be a distraction, the juice, but he oversees. He knows 2 players there. The information is crucial for the Knights, and Raver, as soon as he gets this shock grenade, he's going to try to throw it over the top, stun out that player, and negate the contestation so they can start racking up that time.
A great shock. Avexys is going to be feeling that for sure. He's forced to back off, but goes back in, question mark, and then gets down, and then Chunk, don't know what that was all about. I really don't. He should have absolutely waited, but I think he maybe thought there was a little slight pixel in the back corner left where he can stay contested, but a misplay on his part results in obviously a good play on Pittsburgh Knight's part. Still, though, DeToX. Look at the rope and dope onto Fearzly taking him down. Despite Avexys dropping, Rushiez makes a heroic play. DeToX made a great play, and now Rise has control of the hill.
This is the big decision. 20 seconds on drop shot. Big decision is about to be underway. You play for the next hill. Do you spread out for drop shot with a down like that with the positioning of Rise? They can easily fall back, go ahead and try to pick up the drop shot, and then make a forward play as soon as they have it in their hands. I think Avexys has the call, especially with Rushiez getting dropped down low. The pressure is setting in, especially with the hill not rotating just yet. There's not too much up for grabs on that side of the map, and that's why PK is beginning to converge, but DeToX gets the sideline elimination onto Monkyz. He gets dropped. Avexys gets the revive just in time. Saving play after saving play, but unfortunately, enough is enough. The players have come in. Raver tries to drop one, but Dezonide gets dropped as well. They turn just in time to take out Monkyz, and every player of the Pittsburgh Knights looking like they're going to drop, but regardless of Fearzly going down or not, they have possession of the hill and the drop shot, which will get them the lead here in just a few seconds.
And Jacob, this is the very hill that Pittsburgh Knights could not break last time when we first saw it in the initial rotation. So this is a big moment for Pittsburgh Knights where they need to not repeat the historical, or at least history of what they did before. They have to find a way to penetrate this hill and get in. Rushiez with the drop shot, though, is going to be a nuisance, especially for Deza when he decides to push up. Avexys, though, overextending himself through Cinema, ends up getting himself into a 1v2 and taken down. Rushiez sends a drop shot flying. That takes down Monkyz. Honestly, the guy you want to take out in the moment. Raver now has no choice but to back off. And in the meantime, Rise gets closer and closer to 300. 251 now, 49 points away, but Fearzly making some heroic moves. And he's going to be the only one in there alongside, or at least Dezo also has some big kills.
Depending on how you want to bleed this one dry, that's just enough time to take the lead. Obviously enough time to tie this game up as the Pittsburgh Knights are climbing back into this one. Back and forth we go between them and Rise, and honestly, that's almost been a season thing between these two teams when it comes to E-Days, and every single time they do match up against each other. 4 points of separation. With the next hill, 75 seconds up for grabs. Both of these teams are feeling the pressure. They know this one could go down to the wire.
Go down to the wire indeed. Now Pittsburgh Knights taking the lead back once again. We've had lead changes left and right, I would say probably 3 or 4 times throughout this map #1 controlled district. This is where you don't want the lead to shift over to the enemy team. Monkyz, big spot corner. Unfortunately, can't get away. Raver, 10 toes down trying to fight here. I believe there is a player on the flank, and it is in fact going to be INZEM. INZEM disrupting them, and off of Raver's perspective, Jacob, he had no idea INZEM was behind.
This is still winnable. This is still winnable for both of these teams. Avexys going down across the map. That's going to give up the go-ahead man advantage. Drop shot is up as well. This is shades of that Pittsburgh Knights versus Team Queso ending, but instead the tables have turned. Monkyz with the drop shot in hand, and now it's his chance to close out this game, similar to the chance that Sleeper had in the hands of Team Queso. 25 seconds, 24 if you're Rise is all it takes to close this one out. With less than that on the hill, everybody's going to have to make the decision. How much time do you let go to the wayside? How many players do invest towards this next hill? Drop shot still unused by Monkyz. 2 more eliminations being picked up. 10 more seconds up for grabs. But Pittsburgh Knights, they don't want it. They don't want that time. They want to bring it down to the wire. And Monkyz has to make the play in the end because it looks like Rise is able to get position for now.
Such a big map for both rosters. Drop shot out. Monkyz connects. Now DeToX is gone. Can bully out INZEM. He's not out of the way. Pittsburgh Knights once again taking the lead in a critical moment. 10 points away from 300. Monkyz in middle, watching Avexys bleed out. Rice has no choice but to sprint and get desperate. But Jacob, it's simply not going to be enough. And map #1 is going to end 300 to 285. Pittsburgh Knights lead 1-0.
That's just a brilliant team effort at the end of that game. Know exactly what to do. And multiple times throughout that game, as the lead were changing reflections, these teams were forced with the tough decision. Do you advance forward, get the positioning on the map, or do you play for the big power weapon is the drop shot? And PK made the perfect decision. Drop shot first, position second, and that nailed them to victory.
Incredible performance from both rosters, but Obviously, Pittsburgh Knights getting the win is going to have an effect on how the series is going to play out. Not only do they lead 1-0, but now you got Checkout Execution coming up, which is quite literally Pittsburgh Knights' playground. But before we get into that talking point, it was tense, back and forth action. It really came down to that final fight where we saw Rise get wiped off the map. Monkyz hit a phenomenal drop shot. He was able to get onto the front side of INZEM, but he was already in a 1v3 at that point, so an impossible situation. But was there any time where Rise you thought could in fact win this map one?
Yeah, multiple times. It was multiple times I thought Rise can go ahead and take it. But that's the thing about both of these teams. All season long, they don't go down without a fight. Just like you would think, you can kind of count them out 1, 2, 3. They just rise up and make you think that they just will not go down without a fight. No pun intended on to Rise, but that's been the theme. They've already had to come back once today alone on the retirement. Like I said, when you think they're out, you can't count them out because they always come back. So even though PK had a strong showing in that map number 1, it was too close to call, too close. It came down to the wire, so I wouldn't count Rise out just yet.
You can't count them out. I mean, it would be silly to count Rise out at this point in time. I mean, you got to think about the situation about this series and really where they were just at, Jacob. Both teams were down 2-0. One respectively to Team K, so the other one to retirement, and they reverse swept them and ended up winning. So the reality is to say, okay, Pittsburgh Knights up 1-0, or let's just say perfect world, or not a perfect world, but perfect world for them, I guess. Pittsburgh Knights is up 2-0 after winning Checkout Execution. It would be silly to say, okay, well, Rise is out of the series, right? Because they have proven that they can remain composed, they have got ice in their veins, and they can come back. So this is a series where you can't take anything for granted, even if you're up. It's not over till it's over. You got to win 3, and if you don't win 3, you're going to take the L.
Yeah, and I just kind of need these teams to kind of have that mental stamina, the mental endurance. That's going to be one of the biggest things, especially when it comes to execution, because it's round by round. You can take it step by step. If something goes wrong, you can't flip out. You can't just admit defeat just yet. You have a strategy, and you just have to employ it. So when we go to this next one on checkout, it's going to be very, very easy to kind of get lost in the sauce because it's a very, very chaotic map. It's very, very quick. But you can kind of get a feel of how your opponent's going to play it. There's usually at least one person, even if the damage doesn't represent it, you can kind of see in the elimination feed. They're the tip of the spear type player. You know, their strategy is going to revolve around them, whether they're pushing through the mid lane, trying to get in towards the plat side. It may take a few rounds for that kind of stat line to present itself, but it's definitely going to be something for you guys to look out for.
Pittsburgh Knights and Rise, they met in Pro League. Obviously, everybody plays each other once. During that matchup, Pittsburgh Knights did get the victory over Rise with a 3-1 series count. They won both of the controls. They start off now winning a control. Execution was played, obviously, one time. It didn't go to map 5, but that one time was checkout, and Pittsburgh Knights won 6-3. So you talk about learning, you talk about adjusting, and really seeing the looks that obviously either team is going to give. When it comes to Pittsburgh Knights playing Rise, they take the L. Big learning experience there, Jake.
Yeah, you know, it's definitely going to be a big learning experience, especially since, you know, Rise, they like to make a lot of those hero plays, individual styled hero plays on a map like Execution. It's very, very easy to kind of get caught in trying to make those hero plays, but you need to know when putting out that damage is important, when holding a position, because we've seen so many times one player, one bad step is all it takes for a double kill to happen, a possible triple kill, and then the advantage is on the opposing team. So that's why I always try to tell people, man, you never go down without a fight. Checkout is definitely one of those maps when you have more up here, when there's more strategy, it's a map you want to stay away from. But both of these teams and their aggressive playstyle, I can see why they definitely lean towards trying to pick it.
I'm looking for Rise. I take screenshots after every single map just to make sure I definitely have it. And I'm trying to figure out where there they are. So then check out, and I want to see who had an impact there. And 6-3 victory, like I said, for Pittsburgh Knights. It was Fearzly who was the stat leader. He had 9 kills, 5 assists, 8,400 damage done, 2 first bloods. Across the board for Pittsburgh Knights, they had 5 total first bloods, but it wasn't really outnumbering that of Rise. Rise had 4. So at the end of the day, it came down to what happened after that first blood, or what happened after the initial, how were teams able to adjust accordingly. And I think both rosters can both agree that Pittsburgh Knights did a better job at adjusting clearly. And the guy who really, drug behind whenever it came down to Rise was DeToX. DeToX had 4 kills, but he only had 3,300 damage. He only had 3,300 damage. That's simply not good enough.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm not going to say, percentage-wise, this is more of a feeling, if anything, trying to go with my gut. these two play styles, I wouldn't say, you know, because it all ends up with a 4 over from both of these teams at the end of the day, but Rise has more of a lean towards going wide towards those frag grenades in the hands of Rushiez. So Rushiez is going to have some opportunities in this game if they continue with the same game plan we've seen throughout the regular season, because there will be a moment of time he goes over and it's uncontested, right? And he's going to have to make the decision. Do you kind of just lob both of those nades over? Do you lob one? Do you try to save it? Is your teammate going to save it? There's a lot going on, and it's easy to kind of get caught in that mix. And on the other side, we know the Pittsburgh Knights, they love to get the sniper in the hands of Dezonide. We know how deadly he could be on canals, and we know how deadly he can be at checkout. So going in the regular season, it just makes me wonder if both of these teams are kind of at least expecting that. Do their respective coaches, Affinity on one side, Demise, have some sort of a play call? I know back in the day, and I'm going to bring out a real OG term, very, very few people will kind of recognize this, but the Insanes would have some sort of color code system to where when they saw the look that they planned for, they would call out some form of color. And I know Fallout brought it to one of my Funky Bunch teams when he saw a look that he was waiting for. He calls out the color green, red, whatever it may be, and everybody saw that as a sign to go. So if these teams both done their homework, that could be something they could try to utilize in some of their game planning.
To be honest, that's brilliant, though. You want a quick, concise call out of a look that you're seeing and also a look that you need to implement to, you know, counteract what the enemy team is throwing at you. Just call it a color. Nice, simple, sweet, easy, and good to go. And gotta say, pretty brilliant. I'm surprised. I personally have never heard about that, but it makes total sense. So let's see how map 2 is going to end up going. Like I said, Pittsburgh Knights last time they met against Rise, they won checkout 6-3. This time might be different. You mentioned Rushiez potentially playing for the nades. This time he doesn't, but you did say Pittsburgh Knights loves to play down low for the snipe and give it to Dezo. That's exactly what they do, but they also sacrifice Monkyz. So 4v3 man advantage to Rise.
Yeah, Monkyz was trying to do a little bit too much. He was trying to cause commotion on the other side of that checkout to kind of get Dezo out alive, and he did his job. He was just doing too much. That caused his death. You see INZEM kind of forcefully using that ensign, unsuccessfully, might I add. So the sniper's still going to be alive. Dezonide, he deserves a little bit of respect. We've already seen him on canals today. We know how much of a difference maker he can be. All he needs is one pixel to take a face off of this Rise squadron.
One pixel. That's all he needs. Trying to get it now onto player 4 of Rushiez, but
DeToX is testing him, bro.
See him just yet. DeToX is testing quite a bit, but I'm thinking one missed shot, we might see some pressure onto Raver, who is still stuck in mid-checkouts. Fearzly, they'll be able to lay down some Lancer fire, but Rise should be able to overwhelm him. Even so, though, nobody from Rise wanted to make a move. You got to respect Dezo's ability to be able to snipe. There's no reason to throw your man advantage away, but Dezo inching closer and closer. He's trying to swing it wide, but still, Rise not taking the bait just yet. Raver trying to bait him out. DeToX is going to fall, so is this a time where Pittsburgh Knights pushes up? Yes, it is.
DeToX is going to be cleaned up, but I love the play not to get too greedy, trying to backtrack, forcing Rise in to make a mistake. They know Rise has to answer back that elimination, so they push up. Everybody playing a little safe here, but finally the dust is settled. The eliminations come in, and now Rise have that 2v1 advantage, but one shot left in the chamber. Overtime, he'll out wide. Rise has to make a move to stop Dezonide if he plays this one right and tries to go for that shot, or at least stepping into the hill, because that'll force Rise to try to make a play. There it goes! That's all he needed! One pixel! But no, Avexys answers back! Play after play, and Rise come out on top!
Yo, that was an incredible... You would think that was round 11 with how intense that was. Wonderful job from Avexys to hold his ground and hit the chunk that he needed. The fact that Dezo even attempted to go for the overtime and hit the shot. You said he only needed a pixel. He got just enough of the pixel of INZEM, but Avexys, well done to play for the trade. INZEM sacrifices himself. What a round that was. Round 2, I can't wait to get it started.
Oh, he was just waiting for that pixel to pop up. Raver's waiting for that opportunity, goes in with the Insins, immediately puts one to use, but Rushiez with those frags, like I talked about, uncontested, taking them both back, getting that elimination onto Fearzly, bringing us to a 3v3. The only problem here, now Rushiez out of frags. DeToX goes down. Quick revives back up, so not too much to worry about with DeToX, though, taking the high ground. They know they have DeToX trapped in the corner. I meant Dezonide taking the high ground, but this is where they have to be very, very careful. We've already seen in the first round alone that all he needs is a pixel. When will they learn?
And I mean, come on, you still got to play your game, but Dezo is just, He is a force to be reckoned with without question, and so deadly on multiple maps, not only here on Checkup, but also on Canals. I know we won't see that in this series, but I'm sure we'll be seeing it for the rest of the major. Nice shot, though, to take down Rushiez, and that's going to be GG's. A much better round in terms of numbers for Pittsburgh Knights. 3 end up standing on their own 2 feet by the end of it, and much more controlled in general. I gotta say, man, I'm really liking what I'm seeing. DeToX, the man that I, said earlier, maybe struggled a little bit last time. This time around, 0 and 0, or 0 and 2, I should say. No assist to his name. Does have some decent damage, but he's the guy that I'm looking to step up.
Look at that, everybody really step up on the side of Rise. But Raver, once again, round after round, back-to-back times, getting those incense and getting out almost uncontested. Monkyz turns just in the nick of time to catch out Avexys. DeToX gonna fall to Raver. Back-to-back incense connected. That's incense drops. Rushiez down in a 1v1, so another round going to be cleaned up. So back-to-back rounds won by the Knights.
Back-to-back rounds, not phased by that close round number 1. Incredible work from Pittsburgh Knights to take the lead. We've seen a couple of different looks from Rise. Rushiez, you mentioned he likes to play for the nades. We did see that in round 2. That was a good adjustment from Pittsburgh Knights to counteract that. Plus, they were also able to overload platform, get the incense, and consistently get Dezo the sniper. So if they're consistently doing that, I would love to see Rise react and try and get that out of his hands. Even if they don't pick it up, just stop him and maybe focus fire him.
Yep, once again, uncontested frag grenades coming out of Rushiez. So many spots around, he knows, throwing a frag now. He's not able to connect, as finally a frag's going out. So are Incense, neither one able to connect, and Monkyz back into the action as Avexys hiding, waiting in that mid lane, striking down Raver, but he's gonna fall. Great kills coming in from Dezonide and Fearzly to bring this to a 3v2 advantage. Rushiez goes down as well. INZEM trying to make a play. He gets one down, but finally gets dropped. Denied the opportunity to clean up either one. 3 straight rounds in a row for the Pittsburgh Knights. Momentum has definitely kicked in.
Rise didn't seem comfortable when they went for that, the sniper. You know, they kind of got caught on the bottom end of checkout. The frag obviously got a kill, but up until that point, they had first blood. Why wasn't Rise able to convert that into a W in your eyes?
It just seems like somebody is on a little bit of a different page. Somebody is a few 2 steps behind. I didn't see exactly who it was in that round, but Fearzly getting uncontested or almost uncontested frags. Rushiez with a little bit of Lancer fire. Both sets of those frags, 1 incense, 1 frags going in the hands of PK. Sniper in the hands of Avexys, connecting with back-to-back body shots. Dezonide on his last down. Frag grenades and incense being used to try to save him, but Fearzly and Raver are both going to be dropped as well. Monkyz tries to go in and make a play, lands a shot, but not enough to get the elimination, but he does just enough to keep his teammates alive.
Surely this is a round that Rise is going to be able to take here. We know Dezo is on his last down and out, so if Avexys can hit a body shot, drop him, well, Dezo's going to be gone. It's going to be a 3v2, but at a bit of a stalemate. The Avexys with a sniper is definitely influential, but only 1 more shot remains. So if he doesn't connect with it, then there might become an issue. And not to mention Raver, 1 instant as well, Jacob, that he still has in his inventory. So this is a tense moment. You got Avexys who needs to hit a shot. Dezo on his last down. Raver with an instant. There's a lot of factors at play here, and both teams going to be very cautious about what they use. Avexys, good trigger discipline, good trigger control. Doesn't want to fire that last shot just yet.
I want to see him toy with it. I want to see him toy. Not necessarily play with his food. No, I don't mean that. Toy with it in a similar fashion that we've seen Dezonide as he's trying to get that wide angle. Overtime, 30 seconds. Players beginning to move in. Final shot going out. Connects with a body shot onto Raver. Great shots onto Dezonide as well. Both of them dead to rights in the mid lane, but they have to be careful. Raver still possesses that instant grenade. Exactly.
Raver's pushing out, still hasn't used it. Raver, throw it. You got to throw it to the left, brother. Takedown, DeToX, get the guarantee, but no, he dies with it in his hands, Jacob. At least he drops with it in his hands. Dezo looking to make a play here, rotates up. It's a 2v2. Fearzly, nice shot onto DeToX. 1 more player is going to be remaining, but he's actually down on the opposite side. Even though Pittsburgh Knights wins that and brings it 4-1, you got to question, why did Raver hold on to the instant for so long?
For time that I'm hoping it was me and my glasses, so I'm glad you kind of saw it as well. Now I'm not wearing them right now.
You're not going crazy.
I'll be honest. I'm thinking Raver after that round, he probably like, oh, Oh, boys, I don't want to tell you. I had another instant left. I had another one.
I mean, he's wearing glasses. He should see that, though.
My bad.
Unless Dezo and Raver got their glasses mixed up or something.
Needs a new prescription.
Matter of fact, they're all wearing glasses besides Fearzly. I just realized that. All right. Monkyz swinging wide. An opportunity to snub out Avexys. I thought it was anyways, but we're going to see the biggest disbursements of the players at this point, right? Normally you don't see everybody kind of rotate out. Player 4 should be the only worry for Rise, though, at this point in time. Rushiez. The reason why I say that is because there's a chance he runs into a 1v2, and you got a question for player 3 of Avexys. Is he going to feel safe enough to transfer to electronics? He does. So now Rushiez has help. It's a 2v2 up top, and now the worry, obviously, has to be DeToX. He's by himself.
Yeah, I was about to say, they have him trapped in the corner as well. They know he's not going to be able to escape. Wrong corner, wrong corner. They knew he was in a corner. Look at that. He finally peeks out. Body shot on the Dezonide. Who honestly looks like he just cannot miss. He cannot miss. Raver connects. He remembered this time that he had the instant grenade. He's using it, and like I said, Dezonide looking like he can't miss. 5-1, Pittsburgh Knights. They've definitely woken up after that close call that was map number 1.
Map number 1, close call. Map number 2, not at all. 5 in a row for Pittsburgh Knights. And we're seeing a 0, but it's not that impactful for Rise. I mean, that guy had plenty of damage. Raver did such a good job. We talked about the instant, all jokes aside, though, but 8 kills really wasn't a joke. He should have threw it. But 8 kills, he's got 2 deaths, 6,300 damage done, and the pressure really mounting up here. And Raver looked as if he wanted to go for that early poke, but overextends himself. Rushiez finds an opportunity to take him down. Dezo throws 1 instant out and gets some splash damage, but forced to retreat. Rise with first blood and also control of the sniper. This is a round they should take.
Fearzly throws a frag towards the back lane, stopping that Lancer fire, but unable to connect with an elimination. Dezonide down and out. Fearzly is going to be dropped. Monkyz, it was only a matter of time, to be honest. Rise. I don't know if that round win was enough to stop the momentum. 5-2. Pittsburgh Knights still living on a high. You got to imagine.
Yeah, you got to imagine. I mean, Pittsburgh Knights, they're 5-2. They're about to take a 2-0 lead in the series. You got Harbor coming up, which should benefit Rise, I'm going to be honest with you, but with how really today is played, like Friday was clinical. Friday was like, okay, cool, we're seeing what we expect. Today has been wild. Like, even though the teams that should be moving forward are moving forward, the fact that some series are coming down to game 5 is just wild to me. And obviously I'm talking about Team Queso just a little bit earlier and retirement. Nades thrown out. We will see a trade on both ends. Raver, it's taking too long on the incense. It's going to die off. Sorry, I'm just going back. But anyways, Dezo with the sniper, 7 shots. Rushiez, big body, but he's going to live.
That's how you know Dezonide's just on fire today. He's hitting every single shot under the sun. 2 players on this side of the map. This is where he's trying to make one his target. Avexys gets shot in the back, runs through a grenade, and he gets taken out. DeToX with a flank today, able to take out 1. Revive just the next time. This 2v2 will continue. Both players of the Pittsburgh Knights forced to retreat. And even though this one was slowed down just a little bit, you got to imagine Dezonide with the biggest advantage in the game.
Biggest advantage indeed, especially with the shots that he's hitting. I mean, the pressure he's been putting on Rise is, I mean, invaluable. It truly is. Rise will definitely want some nades or instants at this point. And I like, Dezo's play style, this map has been pretty incredible. How confident and how fluid he's moving with the sniper to swing wide. He's so confident in his shot that he's taking angles that you would think, okay, he'll have his Nash route, right? He's making that push. No, he's going for the body shot, and he is just taking shot after shot. And even if he's not connecting, Rise is feeling that pressure. X-ray off just to see his perspective. And well, DeToX said, enough playing around, my boy. It's time to take you down. Now Monkyz in a clutch spot. A 1v2, and he's going to challenge DeToX. We do see both teams are going to be separated a bit. Maybe an opportunity to get onto Rushiez, but Monkyz full red. He's got to be careful, and he's going to drop Rise. Good job. It was that shot from DeToX that ended up solidifying pretty much that round as a whole. And Rise refusing to give up, 5-3.
Yeah, and for the sake of Rise, I'm honestly glad. Monkyz did not clutch that one out, because we've already seen too many times a big play like that to end a map, like map number 2, map number 3, something like that. That deflates a team like Rise. And I would hate to go into that third and possible final map with the Pittsburgh Knights up 2-0 with a deflated Rise here because they've been playing well. They just need to start playing a little bit better than well because well isn't going to win you a championship. INZEM, though, he hears me calling loud and clear. First blood is going to be acquired. Raver going down, and that's going to be a big player out of the game for the Knights.
Big player indeed. Raver has been popping off and making so many good plays. Dezo falling as well. Rise refusing to back down. It's now a 4v2. Make that a 4v1 and a 4v9. Flawless round for Rise. They get the team ace, and that puts them one round away from tying this thing up, sending it to a round 11. And what a sight that would be. You mentioned Rise not getting down on themselves, especially if they were to take, a heavy loss. But now that they've made it a bit more manageable, Rise is a team, they're emotionally based. They've got to be feeling confident now, Jacob. They have to be feeling like, okay, this checkout, it started rough, but we can finish strong.
Yeah. Talking about Pittsburgh Knights riding on a high. The momentum has definitely shifted. Fearzly Rushiez trading off on uncontested frag grenades. Big round and big first blood is going to be called. INZEM making the difference, but he gets taken down. Avexys drops. Rushiez is out. Only one player left, and that's going to be DeToX in a tall order at task. Bait and switch coming in. DeToX with the misroll. He goes down, and so does Rise. Pittsburgh Knights secure the victory and the map 6-5.
Man, incredible stuff. 6-4. You see it in front of you. Pittsburgh Knights lead 2-0 over Rise. Everybody predicted them to win, and they are not letting anybody down. Representing Latin America, they want to be in winners finals so they can secure their spot tomorrow in grand finals. And they're not going to let this slip through their fingertips. And Rise isn't going to get in their way. Harbor Escalation's coming up next. Map number 3. We need to see a turnaround for Rise. Will we see it? Well, let's find out after the break. And welcome back, everybody, to the Gears 5 Winter Major presented by the Batman. I'm Taylor Reflections Double, joined by Jacob MVPR. What a series we have for Pittsburgh Knights. We have seen 2 close maps. I thought map number 2 wasn't going to be close at all, but Rise did bring it 6-4, but that's where the buck ended up stopping. Overall for PK, they have to be feeling confident more than ever. And I pass a question to you. You mentioned Rise not taking a deflating loss on checkout. It could have been pretty bad, 6-1, but it wasn't the case. But still, they're down 2-0. How do you think Rise is going to be feeling mentally heading into map 3?
It's kind of the phrasing of, can they come back? Yes. Will they? It's going to be tough. It is definitely going to be a tough order. And it's going to have a big task. And you're going to have all 4 of these players show up as superstars. Not once, not twice, but on 3 straight maps. And they've done it once. Yeah, it might have been against some retired players, but those retired players had championships. They weren't any slouches at all. They had just competed a few months ago, so it's not like it's been years. So let's not go ahead and kind of overestimate kind of that fact. So I think Rise can come back, like I said. But,
they've done it. They did it just a little bit ago, Jacob. All right, they did it against retirement. And I know we talked about, first and foremost, I just want to say again, retirement's been playing one hell of a major, man. And Cells has just been on fire. That man is just nasty with it. Been seeing his numbers. He's dropping 20 bombs like it's going out of style. But when we did see Rise down and out, down 2-0, it's looking like they're going to the loser bracket. We did see a different Rise come out of the gates on that Bravo stream on UMG Gaming, and what a spectacular performance that was.
Jacob, I'm gonna cut you off.
You don't need to cut. Jacob,
I want to because I said one thing. Okay, first of all, just because my feet dangle doesn't mean I won't put one of them up, yo. But what I'm going to say is, right now, okay. I will say one thing, right? I said it to you guys all during one of these breaks. If it's not United, if it's not the Pittsburgh Knights, if it's not Rebel, we'll throw the Pioneers in there and we'll throw this Rise squad, right? If it's not against them, it doesn't count. Okay. It doesn't count. So it doesn't matter how good Rise looked on that comeback. It doesn't count because there shouldn't have been a comeback in the first place.
I agree with that. I do agree with that. But for storyline's sake, let me just say this. After they were down 2-0, Jacob, you put your foot wherever you want to put it after the broadcast, all right?
Don't make any promises you won't keep, but let's go.
Stop it. Let's just, Jacob, just stop, okay?
I'm
anyways,
feeling like Colin right now. Let's get it.
I know, and I was about to make that reference too, but you know what? That's okay. I'm gonna find a way to break you, and I know exactly what I'm gonna do to do it. So we have obviously Rise 2-0 down against retirement, but the thing is though, and I was talking with Colin about this, and he said the Rise that came out the gates from the next 3 maps on to reverse sweep retirement was a different Rise. They were a totally different animal. And I know it's not against top 5. And Jacob, that is a very valid point. But for storyline's sake, we might see a different Rise here because they are going in to their #1 escalation map. And that's Harbor. It is very difficult to beat Rise on this very map.
Sure.
And Pittsburgh Knights have not been very successful throughout Pro League Split 2 on Harbor itself. So I am absolutely expecting Rise to win map 3. I'm not saying that for the storyline. I'm not saying that for show. I mean that. So I do think this series could still go the distance. And Ritual's going to be coming up. That's going to be a tough one for Rise. I'm going to be very clear about that. But we know one thing about Rise. When they catch fire, they get momentum, and they start snowballing, it's hard to put them down.
Yeah, and we know momentum's a thing. So like I said, the possibility is there. And all jokes aside, Rise is still one of the top teams. They were in the 5 that I mentioned, so I still have the utmost belief that not only if they kind of lose this matchup, they can still have the possibility of ending up in the grand finals regardless. So one of those things is going to start here. I will say that. And it starts against this Pittsburgh Knights squad. Even if they are going to lose the series, they cannot go down in a 3-0 fashion in 3 straight maps, because how many times are you going to say they're close? It was a close game,
right.
but this, but that. So Rise needs to put all butts aside and cement themselves a victory, steal away that momentum, and then take map number 4 by storm. And before you know it, we're in a 5-game series.
Absolutely the case. Harbor, Rise's playground when it comes to escalation. We did see them stumble a bit, though, in the beginning of Pro League, missing some stuns, not having their identity, but that was the beginning of Pro League. They're not the same team that they once were. INZEM is definitely here to play, but Raver opens up, taking down Rushiez. Now he'll focus attention onto Avexys. This is the spot where Identa's made that miraculous 3-piece yesterday, and this is going to be so where Avexys' life is going to end. In the meantime, Rise does the neutral. So that is one positive thing. They lose the winch fight, but they win the neutral and the objective.
Yeah, that at least gives them a little bit of a cushion here, because they lost everything around the map. Pittsburgh Knights, it's not going to be hard. It's not going to take them long to go ahead and get that position right back. But because of that point lead right in the beginning, Rise have a couple of seconds they can sacrifice here. They can give up the lead just a little bit before they start making a comeback of their own. But it starts with the Avexys. It starts with the captain, and he gets shut down. So now the newest re-addition to the squad, INZEM, is going to have to go big, but he gets shut down as well. Rushiez, he needs a miracle if he's going to have a shot at this one. You can't blame him from coming up shorter than me, as Pittsburgh Knights will continue to steamroll 1-0.
Jacob, first and foremost.
Hey, if anybody can make the short jokes against me, it's me. Come on.
All right, but if you're short, that's fine. But just you got to understand, Jacob, your hands make you 6'7".
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? You put on the gloves.
I do got tight hands. And don't make me break them out. So don't act up, please.
And I don't want to mess with that, Jacob. Okay, and I don't want to mess with the chains either. All right, we know you're 4-chain too. Okay, so Jacob, you might be short, but I tell you what, you're mighty. And I'm telling you what, hey, Floyd Mayweather may be short, but I'm not fighting him. I'm just saying, Jacob, you're all right. You're all right in my book,
reflections, man. Not reflections. Thank God we got you on the show. Thank God we got you for the major.
Hey, honestly, Reflections, he was too expensive anyways. They tried, but they had to settle with the budget Reflections, okay? INZEM taking the neutral once again. He wins that 1v1 against Fearzly. I think that's the second time he's been able to do that. Bit of a battle, though. Dezo holding his ground, but he doesn't know it's round 2. He didn't know Avexys was also there. And Rise making some big moves off the initial, but Raver finds an opportunity to get player 3 back in. Why is Dezo still alive?
Avexys, didn't I kill you already? Why won't you go down? Because I have the best teammates in the world, and if you don't take him down, he's going to be looking to make you pay. Dezonide, quick shots, but now he finds himself between a rock and a hard place. He's going to go down yet again, and Raver, you cannot be the hero 2 times in a row. They will not be fooled twice. DeToX will make sure to pick up both of those eliminations. Fearzly, however, will win a big 1v1 at the bottom half of the map, so even though they did lose that big man advantage, they're going to be able to get that second hill, and they're going to be able to force Rise to make a move.
Rise is making that move, though. They're starting to push out, and they only have 2 players to do it. But if they can get up to player 6 in time, which they will, that 2-man push now goes to a 3-man push. But very cognizant about their flank. They're looking at player 4, Fearzly, who's looking to make some moves. Now, is Raver in this position known he's there? That is the question I have, but his value, but whether they know or they don't know, it doesn't matter, because the effect he's going to have is only going to be so much, because Rise is able to overwhelm Fearzly, take him down, and get the neutral.
I saw what he was trying to do, but because Rise staggered their push over there, Raver had to stagger his own push through the center of the map, staggered so much that he was late to even make that play, just like he forgot the INZEM in game number 2. But I will say, he was able to kind of shake that one off. They came out on top regardless, so even though Rise is able to take a few second lead here, it's not going to take Rise long. They already have 2 people positioned towards the bottom half of the map. They have Raver towards the top half, just waiting for Monkyz to go ahead and get in his spot, and that's where they're going to try to make a push. But it's Monkyz who might try to be the distracting player in the center of the map.
He's going to try distracting player. Plus also has the angle. If Rushiez or Avexys feels froggy and wants to leap, right, he's going to be able to counteract player 6 DeToX, who's up top. But what just happened? 2 players down. And now Monkyz, who was there to counteract all that, he's not going to have an impact. Rise looking to steal this round in their favor. I say still, they had the lead already in points, but based on the position of PK, there was a chance for them to take it. But just like that, Rise have full control, and they're going to definitely and definitively win round number 2 and bring it 1-1 in a way of domination.
That's what I love about this Rise squad. Even though we can make all the jokes that we want, even though they're down 2-0, each and every one of those first 2 maps was close as can be. 1 or 2 players shifting, 1 or 2 different decisions. We could be seeing a tie ball game. We could be seeing a 2-0 lead by Rise, and that's why I kind of hope they don't get down on themselves. They hope they hold their heads high, because they could easily come back like they did in that last series against Retirement. They just have to believe just as hard as a lot of their fans do, just like Complex, Woo Smoke out there. If they believe as hard as they do, anything is possible.
Hey, Woo Smoke was letting them know on the Bravo stream, by the way, when they were playing Retirement, speaking in regards to Rise, everybody was like, oh, Retirement's looking great. Retirement's going to win this. And Woo Smoke's like, slow down. The series not over yet. What's going on? Okay, so we know Woo Smoke out there. He's the biggest fan. Well, I don't know if he's the biggest Rise fan, but he's definitely up there. Check this out. Hey, they can fight it out, all right? And Royal Rumble, we'll cast it, all right? We'll make it happen, especially you, or maybe Colin will be better, because you and WWE go hand in hand. Nice shots coming out from Avexys. Raver, he's not going to get out of there. We're seeing Rise start to heat up. Now, one key point that I want to see go a lot better for Pittsburgh Knights is Fearzly. He has not had much success at all on the neutral fight. INZEM has had, well, not INZEM, but somebody else has had his number, all right? Somebody's definitely had his number, and I think that's because Rise is consistently winning this fight up top, and DeToX is able to just lance her out. But Fearzly is a key point that I need to see step up. If he's fighting for that neutral, I want to see him win it from time to time. Yeah,
especially since he was a driving factor in their regular season play, and they got first, so don't forget that. So Fearzly knows exactly what he's doing. He just needs to catch up to the rest of the team. Fortunately enough, him and Monkyz are both going to go down. A triple down on the players of the Pittsburgh Knights. A free hill for INZEM, and all the pressure in the world for Dezonide. He's going to get dropped all the same. 4 players down and out. This could be staring down the barrel of a triple cap domination. It's up to Fearzly, the player you were looking at, to make a big play. A tall order, a tall task. He's going to get stunned out and dropped, sent back to respawn. Monkyz short to follow. Rushiez completes the hat trick on the same 3 players that downed on that neutral. Rise go up 2-1.
Yep, 2-1, 2 rounds in a row, and they are looking in control. They really are. Round 1, they lose the neutral, or excuse me, they lose the initial fight. No worries, they recover quite well. DeToX, the man that I've been pointing out several times, especially on checkout. 11 assists, Jacob. He's outputting a ton of damage, and he's had a big impact on that winch overlook fight, really helping whoever it is, whether it's INZEM or whoever who's playing for Doc, playing for the neutral. INZEM, or excuse me, DeToX is getting that damage output, and that is something you love to see. Incense are going to be placed instead of shocks. A little bit different, Jacob.
Yeah. A lot different, but strategy remains the same for the Pittsburgh Knights. Can't necessarily utilize him on the initial. You will be down a man, but Avexys is going to go ahead and grab him. That's not going to do anything. That's going to allow Rushiez to kind of push up onto Raver. Everybody feeling a little bit more at ease, especially Avexys, knowing he has that instant in his pocket. But he wants to save it for that perfect moment. He knows his teammates are here. Doesn't have to use it on Dezonide, and that's why Avexys is the way he is. He's one of the smartest players we have in Gears Esports.
We have Gears Esports, he says. I'll take your word for it, Jacob. Fearzly not pressing up on INZEM just yet, but Raver picking up the ensigns, and Pittsburgh Knights are going for a retake, which I gotta say hasn't been going too well. Once Rise pretty much solidifies control of two hills, and they have control in general, it's difficult, or at least it's been proven difficult. That what an instant, perfectly thrown. That pretty much stops this push. You have to assume. We do see a little breakaway attempt though, but Dezo, he's gonna fall a bit short. Fearzly pressuring up onto INZEM. INZEM doesn't have a single kill, but the thing is, he's playing his lives quite well.
Yeah, and Fearzly, smart decision. He cannot decap the hill because that would allow DeToX to get that fresh cross on him, kind of the other one side of the map as well. So that would have been a sure down. He was no other choice but to back up, stay alive, and wait for Raver and the rest of his team to come off a respawn. Great smoke from Monkyz in towards the center of the map, and because that smoke's there, INZEM and Avexys both know to watch out for him, so it's not going to be a free flank at all. Fearzly oversteps, trying to get that decap. Luckily, his teammate is there in the shrines of Raver. Revive after revive. No, Raver's not going to be able to save, so the man advantage going over to Avexys and the rest of Rise. Monkyz tries to make the flank happen. Neither player able to come out on top, but Monkyz finally gets dropped due to the cross. Avexys trying to strike. Well-placed flash grenade, cause commotion and separation. Fearzly goes down, so does Monkyz. Rise definitely has this round in a bag, barring any miracles.
Aren't any miracles, like you said, but hey, miracles, they do happen. What happened in this round? Well, we're soon to find out. Rise in full control. Pittsburgh Knights have one final attempt to make a play here, and they're going to try and do it by doing a little bit of a split push. Rise sees it coming. They're going to back up, and they're going to play defensively on their home hill, the only hill that they really need at this point in time. Player 4 going for the decap on B. That should give Pittsburgh Knights at least 6 more seconds. It does. Through the fire and flames we go. Rush is going to get the finish onto Raver, and Pittsburgh Knights continue to push up. The decap on C might be able to come through. The damage, though, from INZEM is incredible. Fearzly falls, and Rise successfully completes the round 3 in a row. First half going their way.
Once again, Rise tightening things up, just like the Pittsburgh Knights did in their comeback against Team Queso. They realized that with the backs up against the wall, very, very mistakes can be made anymore, and you can kind of see it there in motion. They know there's no reason to die in the center of the map. Everybody backtracking, perfect instance to stop one side of the map, and nobody overstepping their boundaries. 3-1. They know slowly but surely with a score line just like that in that last round, Pittsburgh Knights have or will eventually make a mistake. So coming into this one with the lead going over to Rise into the half, I'm going to be looking at somebody on the Knights, particularly the player that you called out just as well, Fearzly, to begin to step up and turn the tides. I know they don't want to let this go to a map number 4.
Fearzly, he's 1-8, Jacob. He has not been holding his ground on the neutral. He just simply hasn't, at least in the first half. It's going to play much differently here, but he's still going to be trying to go for the overextension. But to be fair, right, and I was taught this by you, I was taught it by Colin as well as Blaze. You guys have all let me know, sometimes in that 1v spot, you can't be successful if your team is consistently losing the initial. So you need the bulk of the work to be done by the 3 players of Pittsburgh Knights. So I'm looking at Dezo, Monkyz, and Raver, who need to consistently be winning this overlook fight and taking Rise out so Fearzly isn't getting crossed, which is consistently happening. And that's what I was talking about, INZEM getting that damage output, or DeToX having those plenty of assists. Fearzly's getting punished. But this is a much more competitive round and competitive initial in terms of Pittsburgh Knights. They successfully win the top 5, but they don't bunker down. They don't pop a tent, right? They're not satisfied with that. They're willing to fully commit for the domination, it seems.
Yeah, taking advantage after advantage, making sure to stay one step ahead of Rise in that department. Staggering out the death. You see it again in your kill feed. DeToX going down. He's going to be bled out. They're trying to do it yet again on this side of the map onto INZEM. And once again, it's going to come to fruition. As they keep staggering out the players of Rise, they're going to slowly but surely step onto each and every one of these hills for a triple cap domination. Avexys drops. Rushiez soon to follow. Nobody left to contest this hill. PK win the first round of the half, but they still trail 2-1.
trail 2-1. But you know what? That's a round win. That's a round win after you take 3 consecutive losses, and also a round win on a fresh second half, plus with the sniper down. So things might be starting to look up for Pittsburgh Knights from this point forward. If they can just hold on tight. But because they placed a sniper, they're going to be behind not only a retro, which is going to hit hard, Jacob. That retro is going to hit severely hard on the second half, but also they're going to be behind a shock when that comes into play. So it's a give and take. But if Pittsburgh Knights can tie this up 3-3 and have a second round that is successful off the second half, maybe there's a chance.
It's going to be a big swing round for the Knights. Rise stop Pittsburgh from winning this one and building any momentum. Or Rise will continue on and take a 4-2 lead. It already looks the advantage and the high ground going on over to Rise early on, and they wanted to. They can start capturing this hill, but they know they have the angles. They want to continue to put down this pressure. DeToX, or I should say Dezonide, is going to feel that pressure going down. Monkyz short to follow. Raver is going out. Fearzly, last one alive, trying to make a play happen. He gets dusted all the same. He gets left with time to think about his decisions. Triple cap domination underway, and it looks like it is going to come through in favor of Rise, who will be one step away from winning their first map in the series.
First map in the series, and maybe first of many. We talk about Rise, or at least I was pointing out the fact that they don't get phased too much when they're down. Yes, an emotional team, sure, we've covered that, but Rise is a team that have proven that as long as the series is live, they're going to fight tooth and nail to come back. And when they head into Ritual, we're going to see a much more intense, I think, series from them in general. We kind of saw it even a little while back in Pro League, you know, being down. I think it was against Rebel. Close map on Regency, and they ended up taking that, and map 5 was just a blowout attempt, and you know, Rise does that consistently. So it's up to Pittsburgh Knights. If they want to win this series right here, right now, the chance is there, but it's a big mountain they got to climb, Jacob. 3 in a row, not going to be easy.
Yeah, not going to be easy at all, especially with how on fire Rise is, even though the series score is 2-0. If you guys kind of just tuned in, and if you guys did forget, let me remind you, those first 2 maps could have went either way. Rise was in it till the very end, so this one is not out of ordinary to see them with a 4-2 lead, and Rushiez with the call up top. Raver is now under siege. Multiple players of Rise trying to get the down. Rushiez holding his shot to that perfect moment, catching Monkyz on that misroll. Rise have a huge man advantage off this initial, but Dezonide gets one player down and out before he gets dropped. 2 hills underneath their control. Rushiez continuing on with his flank. He wants to go for this triple gap domination. He wants to end it right here, right now. Send us to a game number 4. Retro in hand. Somebody needs to try to contest this hill. Rushiez is not dropped until now. Raver went back for their decap. He's going to come through. That was Fearzly, who I think made the stop and got the reset on the hill to keep the Pittsburgh Knights alive.
But for how long are they alive? It seems like they're on life support, and Avexys hits a body and then a heady onto Raver. That's going to put Rise in a great position, great spot, because now you pump the brakes. Fearzly can't push forward. You just simply can't. Rushiez also gets the fresh INZEM, and I think there was one on Pittsburgh Knights picked up just a little bit earlier, but it's already been thrown, so it's not going to be useful whatsoever. Pittsburgh Knights are going to be satisfied with their home hill, but even so, Monkyz has to dance around because Avexys is deadly accurate, and he sends another one flying. 2 more shots remaining. He's going to try and stop this ramp push. Great lineup. Takes down Raver's head once again. Rushiez connects onto Dezo. And before that ramp push from Pittsburgh Knights can even get started, it's already finished.
Yeah, Avexys cut that one short. And I love the use of the INZEM to not even give him a chance to kind of float around the bottom half of the map. And they're going to see every single rotation because of that, of the players of the Pittsburgh Knights trying to get this one last final team push underway. They abandon the home hill. They're trying to work as a full unit of 4. Dezonide goes down for a second. Rise knows they can win off 1. They all backtrack out of the hill. INZEM slowly but surely taking his time. Monkyz spotted him out from a mile away, though. He knows he needs to try to defend this hill. Decapping is not going to be the thing here for Monkyz. He has to make sure it just does not go in the hands of Rise, who are scrambling around the map to try to hold their home hill. There's only 2 players that are in position to try to get this touch. That's Raver. That's Dezonide. They're getting deep into the spawn, but they need to get onto the hill. But in fact, Fearzly finds a way. He sneaks past enemy lines, but so does Avexys. Uncontested. He seals the deal for Rise. He captures that neutral hill, and none of this matters as Rise will secure the map victory 5-2 and stay alive in the series.
So many times we've seen that, right? You see a team heroically trying to come back. They're needing to get on all three hills. And then you have a Kenny, then you have an Avexys. Sometimes, Monkyz at times have done it. Slips through the cracks, gets on the neutral up top, uncontested. And well, that's the only hill they need. Well done from Avexys to see that through. And Rise wins Harbor. No surprise there. I said they were the favorites going into it, and they proved that to be true. They played it masterfully. And again, I hate to put all the pressure on Fearzly because all the pressure isn't on him, but in that 1v spot on the first half, he needed to do a bit more there. He didn't have a single kill for a large portion of the first half, Jacob. And, well, that's where Rise ended up taking a 3-1 lead. Could things have been different if that lead wasn't as substantial heading into the second half? Maybe. I still think Rise would have won it regardless. But either way, though, Fearzly, he's got to get more confidence heading into Ritual.
Yeah, heading into Ritual, where I think it's almost Pittsburgh Knights' seemingly best maps. It's a close quarters combat that allows them to heat up, allows them to work together, and Wolfpack all around the map. But as you're going to see in these replays, they're not doing a good job wolfpacking around the map. They're skipping a beat. They're missing a step. Something is wrong after those first two maps. And luckily for Rise, they kept it close enough to where they're not deflated. This is the moment they could take advantage here onto Ritual and force that game number 5 I was talking about.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you're heading into Ritual. You got to feel confident there. And, Jacob, something to point out, by the way, Ritual, last time it was played between these two teams, Pittsburgh Knights beat Rice 300-103. That is significant. Absolutely significant. Will that be the result here? Maybe not. District was 300-285. Still anybody's game. This was the only map that so far in the series that was relatively one-sided and controlled by one team. DeToX, great shot. By the way, just saw in his stats, 26 assists during that up A, by the way, Jacob. Incredible performance from him, and DeToX stepping it up where he needed to.
Yeah, DeToX, I believe he kind of plays on towards that boat, and he's that flex player. When you're playing on the boat, Avexys is going to go off. Rushiez is going to go off. So that allows DeToX to be that support player. And he's going to pick up a lot of that damage on the boat. But he's also going to turn. He's going to try to alleviate a lot of that pressure of INZEM. But it's going to be a different map onto Ritual. I talked about that close quarters combat style of play. And that's where it leans a little bit closer to a district style of play. To that checkout style of play. To those two close maps that we had to start the series off.
Yeah, that's interesting, getting it. Ritual is very unique in the way that it plays out. Pittsburgh Knights is definitely one of the best teams on Ritual. I would say EU United at this point is better on Ritual just from what I've seen, but still, we don't know. We just simply don't know until the major is done with, right? I think that would definitively say, okay, you are the best team clearly on whatever maps you win. But regardless, though, this is a big moment for Rise. They need to know that not necessarily the pressure is on them, but this is the moment to really, pull up and go massive. This is your heading into your team, your enemy's favorite map. It's not going to be easy, but it's something that you must do. And then you have Clocktower, which is going to be map number 5. We still know Pittsburgh Knights are great on Clocktower. Yep. But Rise needs to put all that aside and just say on a map-by-map basis, we're going to beat you, and that's just all there is to it. So if you're a Rise fan out there in the chat, send them your energy because they're for sure going to need it. Because at this point in time, Rise is Rise is, they're on the back pedal, brother. I mean, they really are.
Yeah, they really are. And I will say one thing. The Pittsburgh Knights, no matter what happens in this map, win or lose, if they go to that game number 5, I will say it has to be close. They cannot get blown out here because then that will continue the trend to where they get blown out on that game number 4. They get blown out in a fashion that they're not used to, and they just come out flat in that following map. So no matter what happens, I want to see them put up a fight every single step of the way because then as that one begins to close out, it'll begin to worry me. My doubts will begin to kind of step in, and then we might have Rise memeing us at the end of all 5 of us. Let me mention the analysts as well. Kind of all of you guys betted wrong. So for the Pittsburgh Knights, I'm kind of hoping they close it out here on a Ritual because even I will kind of get nervous seeing that game number 5, regardless of how this one plays out.
Right. Yeah, game number 5, never a good feeling when you were up 2-0, is it? I mean, for any team out there, no matter your composure, no matter how experienced you are, if you're up 2-0 in the series and then all of a sudden you're looking at a game number 5, you start to sweat a bit more. It's not easy, Jacob. It is simply not easy. But you know what? Game number 4 is here. Pittsburgh Knights haven't lost it. Rise haven't won it. There's still a lot of variables and unknowns, but I agree with you. For Rise, if they can come out the gate swinging, keep the pressure up on Pittsburgh Knights, and destroy Pittsburgh Knights here, like you said, not close at all. Going into Game 5, their lives just got a lot easier. And to just recap, chat, whoever wins this moves forward to winners finals, one step closer to securing their spot in grand finals and a guaranteed second place. But of course, everybody's going for the gold. But just keep that in mind. This is a big ritual. Pittsburgh Knights stomping ground. Will it be their stomping ground in this series, though?
And time will tell. And for Rise, they want to make it their own stomping grounds. They want to stomp around loud and proud to try to make this reverse sweep a possibility. Can you imagine that? Back-to-back reverse sweeps. They got to be going into Championship Sunday.
PK.
How much of a high would they be living on going into Championship Sunday? They got to be the team to beat at that point, no?
But this is the thing. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, without question. And it would even solidify the talking points more that Rise is a team that, is down. It doesn't matter. They'll always find a way to come back. Kind of like KCP Precision was on the roster, right? They're down. They always find a way to come back. But I think this series means a lot more than that, more so than that talking point, but it does for Pittsburgh Knights to win this without going to a map 5 against Rise. Like, this needs to be a big win for Pittsburgh Knights to give them confidence to be in grand finals, because I don't remember the last time we had a Latin American team make it to grand finals through winners.
Through winners?
Through winners.
Have we ever?
I don't know. I'm asking you. I don't think so.
In the
at least
history of
for me
esport,
commentating.
I'm not even sure, bro. All jokes aside, I'm honestly not even sure. I don't even think that's a thing.
Well, to do it, you got to do it here, right? You got to do
and
it
I'm
here.
all Latin America all the way, and I'm gonna feel like I don't think we've ever seen that.
Hey, well, if anybody in chat
I just
knows,
gotta think.
let us
Go ahead
know.
and take it away. Let me think for a second.
Well, I'm taking it away, and Rise are taking it away. They win the torque bow, they win the first initial fight, and that's exactly what they need to do on Pittsburgh Knights stomping ground here on Ritual. A deflating loss here could very well put PK in the grave. Great shot from Avexys, but in a better nade follow-up to get rid of the torque bow, get rid of 2 players. Raver follows it up with a third. INZEM last alive. Pittsburgh Knights, a beautiful recovery to get the scrap time, but that's all they're going to get. They can't go home just yet. A lot of work still needing to be done. INZEM's going to be sniffed out on the flank. Fearzly is, in fact, going to spot him. So at this point in time, Rise set up very nicely for the next hill. Pittsburgh Knights, though, with the Wolfpack, could have potential to break the setup.
Yeah, no, it hasn't happened. It hasn't happened. They've never made grand finals on winner's side of things. They never had the 2-series advantage before, but maybe this event could be different. This is a different looking Pittsburgh Knights squad with the addition of Fearzly. Don't let this series fool you where he's having a little bit of a show of himself in terms of performance as Rise off to yet another hot start after that first hill, but Pittsburgh Knights doing a good job of answering back, but Rise did an even better job cementing themselves deep in towards the spawn where they have that cushion towards the backline. Monkyz going to be the first target. He's going to go down. Not out just yet, but double down coming through. Rise, they cannot overstep or they will be on the receiving end of a blast as Avexys go down. DeToX gets dropped. Rushiez is out of there. INZEM, you're soon to follow. A full-on squad wipe. So yes, indeed, it does come through. Knights answer the call after a bad initial.
Wonderful job from Pittsburgh Knights. They take the lead back after a very lackluster start. They lost the torque bow. They also lost, obviously, the first points. Dazzle on the flank, picking up a cleanup. That's all he's going to be able to get. A lot of damage done to DeToX, but DeToX doesn't care. Going in for the third, and he's going to get it. Great play from DeToX. That secures the torque bow. And even though they do fall a little bit behind, it's still very early on. And big plays like that can swing the momentum in your favor.
Yep. I will say, even though the momentum could swing in the favor of Rise, 51-0. That was the shutout on that last hill, so you got themselves a cushion, even if that momentum does shift on over. But DeToX goes out. I think the torque bow is still in play on the ground, in the hands of INZEM in a few short moments. Going to follow suit along with Rushiez as well. They're going to be the backline defense for this hill from Rise, but Pittsburgh Knights, they already have this one contested for now with 2 players in towards the hill. Dezonide has a bit of a travel to do, and it does look like he might try to trade positions with Monkyz, allowing him to join the fight in a 3v3 fashion. And depending on if DeToX knows Dezonide is there, that might be a sneaky play, but Rise doesn't want to wait for the push to come through. They geared up for one of their own, and it is going to be successful for now. INZEM gets that first elimination, and because they already have the position on the hill, they can backtrack, and with DeToX getting that elimination, their life is that much easier. They are going to get the majority of this time, so the decision is now up to the Knights about what they want to do next.
INZEM has a beautiful angle. If he can just connect, honestly, a body shot would be great here. Splash damage, he'll take it. Pittsburgh Knights pushing full force in front. Watch out a second, though. DeToX looking to pop off. Fearzly looking to go even bigger. Dezo tries to answer in his own. It comes down to a 1v. Fearzly, nice body shot onto Avexys. Bit of a reset, but you got player one who's over on the other end, Rushiez, who's going to help out Avexys, take down Fearzly, and Rise, like you said, getting the bulk of the points here in hill number 3. They should apex the 100-point mark, 100 to 61. They'll stop at 97, but close enough as it is anyways. DeToX fighting tooth and nail for the next hill, though. Fearzly looking to push up. INZEM on his right side. DeToX spots an opportunity to push up, and he's going to get dropped. Rushiez now against a meat shield. Not a good place to be, but still, though, meat shield or not, he ends up making it happen, and Fearzly's going to be caught out too, and Rise definitively in control of P4.
Yep. I like their ability to keep this one close, but I do believe one shutout was answered by another shutout, and that's why we're seeing the lead kind of change. That doesn't count. That 1 point towards the end, that almost does not count from the side of the Pittsburgh Knights. It was a shutout, and I'm going to say it is so as Rise continue to build on that momentum from that last hill. Fortunately enough, though, DeToX gets caught slipping, but Avexys with a Lancer flank, even though 4 players are pushing in, he's doing a ton of damage on multiple players, slowing everything down. Now he switched on over to his shotgun, trying to make it the defining play with a flank, but he gets caught out. Dezonide turns and burns. He takes him out. Rushiez is left all by his lonesome, and now he's going to join the rest of the team in the afterlife.
And you see how Pittsburgh Knights are going to flower out to the right side. They want to take as much real estate on the map as possible just to peek Rise's numbers, see where they're respawning. Now that they've got a good grip on where they're currently at, they're going to backtrack a little bit, focus on the guy on the flank. So that's Avexys opposite of Dezo. Avexys full red, he's going to drop. Now you can focus on the players up front, and I'm obviously talking about INZEM and DeToX, who are going to fully back away. If player 4 Avexys is successful, he's got the flank with the Lancer. Maybe things are different, and we see INZEM and DeToX feel comfortable to push up, but because he falls, they obviously have to backtrack. But that's not necessarily a loss. They don't get the bulk of the points from the last hill, but they are getting the cleanups here as Pittsburgh Knights are trying to rotate off, and because of that, they're going to put themselves in a great spot for the next setup.
This is momentum building at its finest for Rise, but Pittsburgh Knights are doing a good job as well, not going down without a fight. Thankful to Riz pulling up the map. You see both sets of weapons. Those frag grenades and those torque bows are going to be up for grabs. For both of these teams are making that sound decision. You see Avexys at one side of the map, and you see all of the Pittsburgh Knights on the other. Each of them are all trying to get their defining factor of trying to either defend the hill or offensively push through the hill. And the guy trying to make the play is none other than Dezonide.
So, torque bow in hands, Pittsburgh Knights going up front. He set all eyes on Dezo, spots a player in the corner, but watch out, he's getting blindsided, gets some splash. Yo! Lancer out, takes down DeToX, who should have had him dead to rights. Now Dezo's going to be able to flank. Things look a bit rough for Pittsburgh Knights, but because Dezo holds his ground and gets that first kill, he's able to capitalize with Monkyz, get the last Rise member out, and now get 38 seconds.
And not going to be enough to take the lead off of this one unless they possibly bleed every single second dry, which I don't see being a possibility unless Dezonide connects a few more of those bad boys. First one is going to be on to DeToX. Second one almost connecting on to Avexys. Rushiez getting out with those frag grenades just in the nick of time. You're going to see everybody try to rotate in your mini-map and see who kind of gets caught off guard. All of Rise moving in unison, though, trying to set up. And they're going to set up around Rushiez. They know he has those frag grenades, so they're going to be looking to pepper up the players of the Pittsburgh Knights, try to get some early damage and a down, and then try to let Rushiez let loose with those frags.
Frags have been so devastating throughout all of our series today. We've seen some great plays with the frags, especially on Canals, I think. Canals have just been nasty. Fire in the hole! Whenever you're able to hit it off that backboard right with the player who's down low for the torque bow. There's one nade out. Rushiez take down Monkyz. Dezo's going to answer up, though. with his own torque bow kill. Good spacing. DeToX will fall. We'll go ahead and get the cleanup for good measure. Raver now up close and personal with INZEM. Focus now onto Avexys. This is a fresh hill. Pittsburgh Knights win it, and they are going to be able to overtake the lead once again.
Lead change after lead change. That's the way the story goes. Fearzly overstepping his boundaries all by himself. He gets taken down. DeToX goes down for a second. Revive back up. Almost looking scary for Pittsburgh Knights, but Dezonide, play after play, always making the call. Now they have 2 opportunities at a torque bow. If Fearzly spreads the love onto Dezonide, he will have 2 different opportunities. But him going down with that empty quiver, that play is done and dusted. So the play you're looking at to make the plays, Hal has the biggest opportunity of them all with torque bow. And he connects onto Avexys. Rise the siege in the hill, tries to go back to back. He misses that second one, almost goes for a one-hitter quitter onto INZEM, but he got shut down. So Rise, they steal that lead right back.
Still it back. This is a tense matchup and already better than when they met against each other during Pro League. That ended 300-103 with Pittsburgh Knights dominating Rise. Rise this time around have done their homework, done their research, and they're also playing with more energy, and I'm loving it. I really am. Game number 5 might be around the corner, but it's still too close to call. Fearzly will take down DeToX as soon as he picks up those nades, so they're going to be out of play, but either way, he still can't use them against his team, so it's a win in my book. Now fight for the fresh hill is going to be underway. Rise attacking from all different sides, therefore putting the pressure on PK, who is feeling uncomfortable. But even while they're uncomfortable, they're still clutching up, but there's still one problem. Avexys. And Avexys is inside that hill, and that goes from now a 2v1 to a 2v2. DeToX up close, takes a ton of damage, doubles back, take down Monkyz. Avexys up close to Fearzly. DeToX is really the star of the show. My lord, is he going for the third? He doesn't get it. Avexys will, though. But you gotta admire how Avexys and DeToX fearlessly held their ground and gave Rise the lead they needed.
Yep, holding their ground indeed, and that's what you got to do if you're Rise. Never go down without a fight, and that has been their series. That has almost been their day. Down 2-0 to retirement, they complete the reverse sweep. Down 2-0 to the Pittsburgh Knights, they win map number 3. They force map number 4, and they have the lead for now, and they are also going to be that first team to eclipse that 200-point mark. Rushiez with the flank. He's going to complete it with the rest of his team. Monkyz and Dezonide both go down. Rushiez trying to be that first towards the next hill. 2 big shots from Raver. Fearzly cleaning up that down. So PK, even though they lost a lot of points on that last hill, they will be that first team to the next. So they need back-to-back team fights to go ahead and try to tie this game up.
Back-to-back team fights, like you said. PK has put themselves in a tough spot. I shouldn't even say they put themselves there. Rise has put PK in a tough spot. Just how well they have been playing as a team, as a collective unit. INZEM looking to pop off, go big, picks up 1, doubles back for the second. He surely has this, you would have to assume, but Dezo giving him a tough time, but INZEM gets the 2-piece, and, well, if you keep giving up 2 pieces like that, man, you're going to put yourself in a really awful spot. Rise controlling middle may fully and definitively have it, and also the fresh hill. Jacob, Rise could very well do this, and you talked about them needing a big win on map number 4 to give them a tremendous advantage of winning themselves to going into map 5. I gotta say it, if they keep PK below 200, that would be a big enough win in my book to give them the momentum for game 5.
Yeah, 100%. That's going to be a momentum shift, and then I'm going to be real worried for PK fans, and even all 5 of us, like I mentioned. So this is going to be a real defining play here. Are we going to go to a game number 5, or can PK complete the comeback? Raver goes down. Fearzly's getting shut down. Dezonide is under pressure. He is going to get dropped. Monkyz looking like he's soon to follow. All 4 players, the Pittsburgh Knights, are going to go down. The only silver lining right now, Reflections, is it's unwinnable for Rise off of this hill. So we will go another hill. Another rotation is underway.
Jacob, you call it a silver lining, but honestly, I wouldn't be too happy about that, to be honest with you. I mean, it's like, okay, Rise can't win off of this hill, but they're still up more than 100 points over Pittsburgh Knights, forcing them now to fight for every inch of the map. And player 4 Avexys is going to bleed that hill dry. Get to 274, and I got to say, I'm a big fan of that play, because now the pressure mounting up the PK, they've got to be sweating at this point. They know they're knocking on the door of a game number 5, and Rise is refusing to back down. INZEM has had an incredible back-end portion of this map. We've seen him pick up tremendous two pieces. We've seen him make great plays overall as a whole. Monkyz, 15 assists. Avexys, 18 assists. The point that I'm getting at is everybody is doing their part on Rise to play as a cohesive unit, to play as a team, to output the damage. And this hill is where map number 4 could end.
Yep. It's all or nothing onto this one. Fearzly gets caught out first. 3 players still have an opportunity. Splash damage onto Monkyz. Dezonide doing what he can. Down coming in. Dezonide gets cleaned up. That's going to be a torque bow connecting. Raver gets one, but he is out. 10 seconds to go. It's on the shoulders of Fearzly, who's been having a struggle in the past 2 maps. 5 seconds. It's all it's going to take. Fearzly gets one, but can he be the hero that they need? 1 second, and he doesn't get it. Rise will force a game number 5.
And that was a dominant win that Rise absolutely needed to give them the momentum. Back-to-back reverse comebacks for Rise. The first one was just a little bit earlier against Retirement. The second one is here against Pittsburgh Knights. Now they're heading into Clocktower with all the momentum and all the confidence in the world. They can close this series out and secure their spot moving forward in the winner's bracket in winners finals. Will they be able to do it? Map number 5 is Clocktower Execution coming up after the break. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to a spectacular comeback from Rise as they send PK to a game number 5 here in the Gears 5 Winter Major presented by the Batman. I'm Taylor Reflections, and we're joined by Jacob MVPR. We questioned it. Could Rise do it? Well, Jacob, we've got our answer. Yes, they can.
Yep, they definitely can. The potential is always there, and honestly, they're making us all look like fools at this point. We got 2 Rise superfans, Complex and Woo Smoke, probably smiling ear to ear, saying, hey, I told you guys. It might have been on the 100th try, but I definitely told you guys for sure. As Rise looking clean as can be the last 2 maps, but can they keep that momentum going with back-to-back reverse sweeps here on the day?
Well, you know what? Can they keep it going? That is a fact. That is a truth. And the question is that you have to really bring up. We talk about Latin America not making it ever through to grand finals through winners, and obviously we talk about them never winning a chip and things like that. But the reality is we're not to that point just yet. Pittsburgh Knights are the #1 seed in our tournament. Okay, we talk about EU United maybe being the favorite and stuff, but they're in loser bracket. So Pittsburgh Knights are carrying the torch forward. They're the #1 seed from Pro League, and they look like the #1 team to win this event. So for Rise, yes, they do have a shaky performance against Retirement. And I asked that question to you, Jake, when you said, you know what, shaky performance, I don't think Rise is going to be able to do it against PK, right? You're thinking that, and that's a valid point. But they are doing it against PK. So even though the series are going to distance and Rise are taking some L's, it doesn't matter if they get a W at the end of the day.
No, it doesn't matter if you win by an inch or you win by a mile. A win's a win at the end of the day, and you're going to celebrate it as so. Afterwards, you might be looking at that VOD and say, okay, guys, I admit it. It was a little too close to call, a little too close for comfort, but that's behind closed doors Reflections. You don't ever admit that to the public, or at least some of these pro players don't, but 2-2 Clocktower. That's going to be our final map to decide the series, to decide who advances to our winners finals with a shot to take a big advantage into the grand finals. And it's been a long time since a team with an advantage such as that has lost the event. So you can really kind of rein it in and start to feel the glory if you can kind of make that so. But it starts here for one of these teams. Game number 5, and I've always said it, I love Clocktower being a final map in a series because there is so much flexibility. There's so many options. There's so much room for strategy. It really brings out the best of the best.
You know what? Interesting stat line. Clocktower not played during Pro League in regards to Rise. Only played once at the beginning of Pro League for Pittsburgh Knights, and they played against E United and they beat them 6-2. So not a lot of stats to kind of bring up here. And it's an impressive they beat E United, but I think E United was playing a bit off at the beginning, if I'm not mistaken. They definitely got better towards the end. So I'm taking that with a grain of salt. But we don't often see Rise lose after they send it to a game 5. And look at the aggression from Rushiez and the Rise roster in general, but they're getting eaten alive. Pittsburgh Knights see right through it. INZEM's forced to clutch up. He picks up one, but it's not gonna matter. And now you got to question, was it worth it to be that aggressive off the rip?
Hey, don't blame me right now. Don't blame me. I blink and I missed it. Please tell me what happened.
Oh, man, you're in for a treat.
I blinked. I blinked.
That was 23 seconds. We could play that whole round again, I'm going to be honest. But just to recap, Rushiez, like a bat out of hell, my guy, pushes directly past host spot, goes straight into Pittsburgh Knights. He gets first blood. Then the rest of the Rise roster pushes up. Now all of a sudden it's a 4v2. PK cleans up everybody from Rise. I mean, I said Rushiez was like a bat out of hell, but everybody was. And I don't know if Rushiez... Here, you want to know what happened in round one? This is what happened in round one.
Deja vu. You said we were going to see it again here. You were right because they hit that brick wall, which is the defense of the Pittsburgh Knights. Eliminations, though, they're trading back and forth. Fearzly is going to get drop. Rise has a 3v2 advantage thanks to Rushiez and his aggressive plays from start. Let's see if he can finish, though, in this round. Dezonide trying to go for a flank, but both Dezonide and Raver are going to be back down with an additional player comes and an additional angle at the hands of Avexys, and the cross is in. Both players are down, and Rise has tied it up 1-1.
Wow. So if it doesn't work, try it again and maybe it will. That's what I'm gathering from the first two rounds. Rise, round one, they get absolutely bopped. Round two, a just as aggressive Rushiez picks up 3 kills. I mean, incredible performance. I am gonna say though, I really thought Pittsburgh Knights still had the advantage there because Raver was on the flank, but ultimately he didn't have the impact that I was assuming he was going to have, and I believe he picked up nades too, so I have no idea where those went. But now we're heading into round number 3. Rushiez and Raver will find themselves down low, but Rushiez is going to pick up those nades. Now, how much of an impact is he going to have? Well, he's actually doubling back, and Raver's going to get the drop, but Rushiez is fine.
It doesn't matter. All that does is give an opportunity for Fearzly to get that sniper out. DeToX tried to go for that quick and easy elimination, but he's going to get caught out by Monkyz. Double downs from both of these players. You got to think a revive's coming in, but Raver is going to clean up one of those towards the back line. In fact, everybody from the Knights are going to clean up all of those eliminations. Trading rounds back and forth. Pittsburgh Knights are up 2-1.
Up 2-1, but nothing to get too excited about just yet. DeToX 0-3, 482. And I swear I hate saying that man's name only because I feel like every time I do, I'm just putting a magnifying glass on him. But to pay attention to him and see what's going on with DeToX's positioning, as he is, in fact, one the lowest, at least the lowest statistically speaking on this roster. So he's trying to get Rushiez out here with a sniper. So tough spot to be. He's going to get flashed. He can't even get it. Fearzly laying down the cover fire, but DeToX finds a way to get out unscathed, and now this is where he can pop off.
Raver messing around with the flank. That's going to leave him a man down up top towards the defense. Avexys trying to deal with it, but while he's doing that, Fearzly and Dezo pick up an elimination each. Avexy gets one, but by the time he tries to return fire, it's just all over. Fearzly strikes to end that round, and 2 rounds in a row have finally been picked up as Pittsburgh Knights have now teetered the momentum on their side in the important game number 5.
DeToX looking to pop off, but then Raver on the flank gets the drop. That's the second time we've seen Raver now flank all the way through, and the impact that he had this round was tremendous. If Raver's not on that flank, there's an opportunity that your front-facing members of Pittsburgh Knights get sniped from DeToX, but Raver absolutely disassembled all hope that Rise was going to win that round number 4. So with PK leading 3-1, it is time to get serious. Can Rise come back?
And because Avexys didn't press up on him, that's what gave him that free Lancer cross. I didn't see that one, so good eye reflections. Good eye indeed. But as Pittsburgh Knights have a 3-1 lead, both of these down low players are actually going to slow it down. And it's funny enough, the switch up, when things do slow down, they have INZEM playing down low. When they want to try to go for a quick pick, they have Rushiez playing down low. So it almost makes me wonder, is somebody on the Pittsburgh Knights kind of keeping an eye on that? If not these 4 players here, I sure hope their coach Demise is kind of jotting that one down in their notes.
Raver attempting to go for those nades, maybe the flank, but getting kept in check from Avexys up top. But also, you have player 8, INZEM down low. Things are starting to pop off a bit. Dezo hand in the face. Can't get a comfortable pick on the sniper, and he's going to be forced to back off. Great pressure from Rise, and the second down from Dezo will come out, which means he's going to be at a big disadvantage if he tries to go for the sniper again, which you simply can't. Bit of an adjustment, though. We do see Raver trying to go down low once again, but a great job from INZEM to see what he's up to, keep him in check, and not let him go on the flank. So already big adjustments being made from Rise, and it's paying off.
Yep. Right now, it's going to be up to Avexys here. He has the only utility in the game, and it's going to be in the form of, I do believe, a smoke grenade. See overtime up in about 20 seconds, and Already these guys utilizing the entirety of the map to flash to spawn out to the bomb. You don't see it every day until the game does slow down. So two more utility picked up. Respective team having their own overtime towards the top half. A 4v4 battle is about to ensue. Flash grenades going wild. Smoke grenade going out from Avexys. That's going to make it actually dangerous for both of these teams to try to travel through, as it's going to be PK who try to step up first. They're baiting the members of Rise in. Damage going back and forth. Fearzly's going to be the first one dropped. Monkyz going to be the first one out. Raver soon to follow. All members of Rise are standing tall as the dust settles. Rise will get the victory in the end and get one step closer to tying this game up.
I love overtime hills like that, Jacob. I really do, man. Excellent stuff coming out. Like I said, it's a Royal Rumble indeed. Both players, or all teams, excuse me, trying to just get inside the zone, man. Get those chunks, but Rise 10 toes down, holding their ground, and that is such an important victory. I mean, just look at the carnage and the chaos, and it is always amazing to see so much chaos happening there and nobody getting team kills, right? Because it's just, it'd be so easy to hit your teammate in that chaos.
Yeah, Fearzly going down first really, really hurt them on that last couple of seconds, and honestly, that's been the story. The struggles of Fearzly. Sooner or later, he's going to have an opportunity to make a big play. He's going to come out on top. Avexys gets it down twice onto Dezo. Lines up the shot, but due to damage mitigation, he needs a headshot to get the elimination. He's not going to come up with that one. Misses yet another crucial shot that's very uncharacteristic from Dezonide, who's been on fire all day long with these fire weapons.
On fire. My guy is hungry for wet. He needs to be extinguished for sure. Dezo, nice shot on the INZEM, my lord. And that brings it to a 4v3. And Dezo picking up that sniper is definitely nice to see. We saw him popping off with it on Clocktower, Jacob. Fearzly had the sniper a little bit earlier, but Dezo having it, it just feels right.
He's the playmaker, man. He is the playmaker. And that's why every time Twitch chat is like, you know, drop Dezo, Dezo this, Dezo that. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. You know you see it every single major. You see it every single major. Either that or you're blind. Ooh, thumbs up short. Okay. Doesn't connect with that one, but Fearzly stepping up when he needs to most. 2 quick downs on the Rushiez. Monkyz there when he needs him. Fearzly gets another down. Dezonide goes down. Fearzly is stepping up big. He gets a couple eliminations, a couple of downs. Raver got into the mix as well. Pittsburgh Knights up 4-2. And let me remind you, the stakes are at an all-time high. This is our game number 5. Loser of this will drop down into a minefield that is the lower bracket.
Minefield, absolute minefield. Fury 1, E United, retirement, Team Queso. Look, it's not going to be easy down there. You might as well just go ahead and put in the work and go through winner's bracket, okay, at this point in time. Pittsburgh Knights 2 rounds away from winning and moving forward and beating Rise. That would be such a tremendous victory for them. Rushiez gets the nades. Monkyz falls. Monkyz falls. Nobody can pick him up. In fact, this might open up an opportunity for Raver to overexpose himself, but he's going to back up, and thank goodness he does, because if he decides to challenge that, things could have got ugly. But all eyes on Rushiez. 2 nades in hands.
First one. I want to say it's a little too deep. Unable to really connect with anything. Raver goes down. Fearzly trying to step up big yet again. And unfortunately, the numbers are just too much. Dezonide gets shut down. Rise slowly but surely showing that they still have some life left, some gas left in the tank. 4-3, though. The Pittsburgh Knights still have a round cushion. But if this series has taught you anything, 1 round is really nothing to set your hat on.
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, this could really turn on its head very quickly. Obviously highlighting Rushiez 2 first blood. He's got the 3 revives, 7 kills to his name. INZEM, though, outputting a massive amount of damage. And I like that about INZEM. He's a flex player at times. We know he could slay out. We've seen him do it on that high roster back in the day. We've seen him do it on Rise. But back to square one. This was the strategy that worked in round number 2. And it looks as if it might be working here. Beautiful job from INZEM. I was highlighting his damage done, but I was also saying he could slay out, and he gave an example as soon as I said it.
Slowly but surely, blow after blow. Monkyz with a tall task. He's going down low to grab that utility, making sure to use every bit of the map here, but he's trapping himself deeper and deeper here to where he still has to make the play of that overtime. Flashes towards the outside, tries to make a dash towards the top side. The Lancer fire is in. Even if that flash stunned somebody, they had 2 different Lancers looking at him, not giving up any inches. Rise have definitely tied this game up, and we basically have a best of 3 on our hands.
Oh man, a best of 3. Rise coming back. The narrative we set after that round number 4, the map number 4, was if they start to come back and send it further on, they're going to be hard to stop. INZEM, more damage to his name now at 8,500 damage done, Jacob. This round is, in my opinion, one of the most important rounds we have seen yet beyond that point, series point. And you want to talk about pressure if you're not the one who gets the victory. This one is going to be a tough pill to swallow. But regardless, though, we're going to see much the same setup we've been seeing. Rise isn't going to go aggressive. We're going to be at a stalemate. Raver, INZEM, deadlocked down low. 4 and 6, trying to keep both of the players in check, whoever decides to push up. Unless you got the back pillar players looking to make a move. It is literally identical. A mirror image, a reflection of each team.
Oh, stop. Oh, stop.
What happened?
You always find a way to show yourself in the game, but down low, a lot of that chaos going to ensue. Raver unable to step up. You got to think of Avexys to that. Crossing at the top, trying to keep alive, but he sacrifices himself. He sacrifices himself to get INZEM those frag grenades. They get the revive onto INZEM, but the Pittsburgh Knights are taking position towards the top half of the map. Sniper is going to be grabbed, but they know they cannot funnel over. Frags are going to be in. Fearzly is going to get first blooded yet again. Headshot is in. Monkyz connects with it to even up the tides. 3v3 as the dust settles.
Oh, lining it up. Misses the shot. This is the third player we have seen with the sniper now on Clocktower for Pittsburgh Knights. First it was Fearzly, then it was Dezo, now it's Monkyz. Everybody having their time to shine. And Monkyz is, in fact, shining in this round number 9, Jacob, as he gets that headshot, brings it to a 3v3, and stops Rise in their tracks. And player 1, for good measure, is going to be down low. Raver trying to keep them in check. And with Pittsburgh Knights and Rise so low, I have to assume we're going to have that overtime go right in front. 15 seconds will be popping up, and Monkyz has such a tremendous advantage here, but he's actually repositioning. Such a bold play.
He's going to be in the hill. He's
to get on
forcing
this
it.
back truck.
And he's going to try to get the body shot, cross towards the outside. Lancer up top from Dezonide. They have the perfect formation right now. They just cannot get greedy. They cannot try to win it all at once because it will slowly but surely come to them. They played that one to perfection on the side of the Knights. They have the go-ahead round, and they're up 5-4 on our game number 5. One more round, all it takes, and the Pittsburgh Knights will advance to our grand finals.
Ooh, this was that play. Monkyz brings it from a 4v3 to a 3v3. And Monkyz, the hero, not only from the start, but also the finish. You mentioned that body shot. He got exactly what you said he would. And that side angle from Dezo, and the Lancer fire up top from, or it should be Raver getting the side angle, and Dezo up top. Final potential round for Pittsburgh Knights, and seeing a different look. They're going to be the aggressors this time around.
Oh, frag grenades from the low side. Rushiez, 2 duds, 2 bad frag grenades. Monkyz with the first blood as well. A combination of those factors leads me to believe the Pittsburgh Knights are staring down the barrel of success, but a backtrack. Rise, they get a couple of eliminations. Avexys is down though. Sniper lands of Dezo. He connects with a body shot. Everybody's forced to disperse here for a moment. A misroll out of DeToX. It cost him his life. Rushiez goes down. The Pittsburgh Knights have done it. They stop the reverse sweep. They take it in 6 and take game number 5 along with the series 3-2.
Vamos, PK! That's what I'm talking about. They had the cojones to go against Rise, and they made it happen in game number 5. 6-4 victory, 3-2 as a whole in the series. Pittsburgh Knights will move forward in the winners bracket to be in winners finals, and could very well be the first Latin American team to ever be in grand finals from winners, and also, more importantly, the first Latin American team to win a chip for Latin America. Pittsburgh Knights back on top.
Yep, loving every single minute of this one. Pittsburgh Knights not letting that regular season go to waste, not letting that 2-0 lead go to waste either. And you got to imagine how different that could have been, because those two first maps were so close, man. Rise were definitely staring down the barrels of success in their own mind, but kudos to them for forcing the game 5, but a major congratulations to the Pittsburgh Knights showing up almost every single major. They do it yet again, almost guarantee themselves top 3.
I mean, they really do. Well, not every time. Let's not forget
Almost.
last major they did, second place. But they had that fall-off period where Fire and Ice took over, and then ultimately when they repositioned over to Noble with the same roster, they took over the crown for Latin America. But Pittsburgh Knights, they found a way to take that back. Granted, I'm saying all of this, and again, when I said at the beginning before the series started, I'm going to say it once again now. Rebel is still in the winner's bracket. And Jesus Christ, Rebel's about to play against Pioneers. And if Rebel beats Pioneers, guys, guaranteed spot for Latin American Grand Finals. I'm not a genius, but I just figured that out and it just hit me in the face. Jacob, what a great series that was, brother. I loved casting with you, of course. Analyst, what's going on, boys? Pittsburgh Knights, we predicted them to win, and they got the victory.
Hey, we're all celebrating dubs today, boys. 5 for 5. We should all go hit the tables, hit the slots, hit the lotto, you name it. Nice job, y'all, patting our backs real quick. But hey, no, hell of a series. Oh my gosh. Rise forces a game number 5, the near reverse sweep. And then honestly, I actually want to talk about that last Clocktower first. We're going to pull up the replays here in a second for everything else. But they pulled out some tricks out of the bag there, Ryan. I'm not sure if you saw it, but back-to-back trick strats. They run Rushiez to grab nades, bait the nade kill on Monkyz, get that kill, and then they run a 4-up and steal 2 rounds in a row. You think that they're starting to get some momentum.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, that's what you got to do, right? In those game 5 executions, these are the times where you pull out those trick strats. These are the times where you pull out those things that you've been practicing in scrims that you haven't been using in Pro League, that you haven't been using in emergence days. Man, oh man, what a series that was. We knew that coming into this one we said it was basically a freaking coin flip, right? We're like, this is such an evenly matched series. We don't know who's going to come out on top. Of course, we all did kind of predict the Knights and got that one right, but man, top to bottom, just a great series.
Yeah, absolutely. We knew it'd be a 50-50 or close to it, and it came down to it, Toby. But really, Pittsburgh Knights started so strong. Oh.
You lost him?
We lost him.
Okay, well, please just you and me, John. Let's just keep
right.
rolling.
Listen, two-man duo. Finesse duo can do this for days, baby. We'll be talking for days, that's for sure. But Ryan, I'll flip that question for you. Oh wait, Jose might be back. Jose, you there?
Am I here?
He's back. He's back. What's up, Mama?
Yeah, there we go. All
there
right.
he is. All right, Fran, I want to hear this from your perspective, man. You've obviously been in so many of these series in your time as a player. PK starts so strong, Rise brings it back. But talk about how good PK was looking at first.
Oh yeah, I mean PK was firing on all cylinders. Honestly, they were looking really, really good. I knew, going into that harbor, Rise has proven to be a great harbor team, time and time again. So I knew that was going to be rough for them. So after that, it was kind of, it was a 50-50 on that control, and Rise, the old Kings of Control, might be back. I mean, who knows? But I kind of expected to go tiebreaker after they won that harbor, and that Clocktower. I mean, that was incredible to watch. I mean, it was a great, it was an amazing comeback. It fell a little short, but man, oh man, yeah, we saw a few different strats thrown out there, and just the composure to close that out. That last round, I think it was Dezo with the snipe at the very. It was Monkyz with the snipe at the end. Yeah, I mean, just going to switching the snipe, having the confidence to hit the shot, and everything that they did, they just showed a lot of composure.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And honestly, that last game felt like some old school gears, man. I mean, game 5 execution for the bread. You saw teams pull trick strats out. I know, Fran, you appreciate that as someone who called a trick strat at 1,000 in his time as a Gears IGL. It had everything you kind of expect from a Gears series, didn't it?
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, like I said, the trick strats were there. We did see, the only thing that I didn't really like was, I think it was the first round that I believe Rise just flew across. I don't know if I agree with that strat call, but they tried to catch him off guard. PK was ready for it. And, and then we saw the result. It was a close match.
That's true, but then they did it again. I mean, it's the same strat. They did it again in the second or third to last round when they won 2 in a row. They ran a 4 up top and were able to kind of play with a lot of aggression and get that round. Is that the same strat?
I'm not sure if it was the same strat. It didn't look like it. I know
maybe
the
it changed up a little bit.
Yeah, maybe they were like, oh, you were supposed to go here, and they kind of fixed it on the fly.
Yeah.
Who knows? But yeah, it did look a little sloppy the first round.
Yeah, you get back-to-back wins via trick strat, and then you kind of go back to your base, your bread and butter. It just seemed like in base kind of stalemate, slowed down gameplay. PK was prioritizing the sniper, and that's why. I mean, Dezo, Fearzly, Monkyz, all grabbing it and all popping off with it, and that was ultimately the difference. And I don't want to keep going back to Fran here. Ryan, I want to get your thoughts as well, but Fran is someone who obviously was the playmaker with the sniper on your teams back in the day, would prioritize sniper. Talk to me about the importance of sniper, and why did Rise seem to deprioritize sniper and instead prioritize nades a bit?
I mean, from what I've seen, Rise has like premeditated nades. When they play for nades off the start of the round, they have premeditated nades where they kind of trap the guys in grabbing snipe. So I mean, I don't know if they kind of relied on that a little too much. Maybe try to play for snipe a little bit more. Maybe that's what they were comfortable with. But, at this stage of the game, you have to be comfortable doing both. These guys play each other all the time. They kind of, have that feel for each other. So they understand that. They know Rise is going to throw those nades. So maybe they adjust it. You have to be ready for that.
Ryan, your overall final thoughts on the series. PK advances to the winners bracket finals. Do you think they have a chance to make it to championship finals through winners bracket? Do you think it's going to be them, or do you think KCP, the other teams coming from the lower side, are too strong?
Yeah, I mean, I think this tournament to me is still wide open. As I kind of look at this sort of general series, right, we watched both of these teams start the day by going down in that 0-2 hole in their respective matchups, right? We kind of talked about early on what the keys to victory were for a team like Rise, for example, right? And one of the keys was that you cannot go down 0-2 against a team like the Pittsburgh Knights, right? That might have gotten you out of round number one, but a team like PK is not going to let you usually get 3 in a row like that. And we kind of saw that come to life, right? You see them go down 0-2 again, and they start to climb back, right? They win map number 3, they win map number 4, but like I said, eventually a team like PK will finish the job. And so I think PK, like I said, they're looking very, very good. Rise, of course, is looking very good. This tournament to me is still wide open, right? Rise only goes to losers bracket. They're not out of this thing yet. So I think a lot of teams are still poised to potentially make this run. The Knights, of course, at this point, I just always expect them to be there on Sunday. I always just expect them to be on the top 4, top 3, top 2, just because no matter what roster they have, no matter how they look in Pro League, good or bad, they always make it there no matter what at this point, right? They're too composed. So, I expect to see the Knights in the mix of the top 4, top 3, top 2, whatever it may be. And hey, who knows, man? If they keep looking good, this could be the LATAM, championship we've been waiting for.
Who knows? Meanwhile, their compadres over on the lower side of the winners bracket are going to be playing against the Kansas City Pioneers. And speaking of which, let's take a look at the brackets so we can walk you through the updates. If you're just watching for the first time, it has been madness. It's been a crazy day. 3-2, 3-2 in winners bracket round 2. The Pittsburgh Knights almost getting 3-0'd by Team K. So Rise almost getting 3-0 by retirement, but they're able to complete the reverse sweep. And as a result, Knights beat Rise 3-2. Another nail biter. It's been a stressful day for the Pittsburgh Knights. I'm sure they're glad to just be able to finally unwind, relax a little bit, enjoy and watch some gears, but they are looking so strong. And again, I have been so impressed by Fearzly, his interview yesterday, his humility, his willingness to play a support role and to use his Lancer more often, even though he has the skill. It's been great to see. But that Pioneers Rebel match is going to be great. Meanwhile, in the losers bracket, excited to see which teams will advance. Retirement versus Team Queso will be a nail-biter. Fury 1 versus E United. Obviously, given Fury 1 got 3-0'd by Rebel, and we all know what E United's capable of. You think United's the favorite in that one, but E United also got 3-0'd by Kansas City Pioneers. So, at this point, anything's on the table, Ryan.
Yeah, absolutely. I think to me, the match I'm definitely looking at more is going to be that Team Queso versus Retirement matchup. I think that one is a much, much closer match. A lot more implications, right? I think a team like Retirement, if they can win that, get themselves into a top 6, put themselves in position for a potential top 4 run. That to me is a crazy storyline. Of course, on the side of Team Queso, a team that's been obviously improving more and more by the day, the week, the month, whatever it may be. So they're really looking to have a good showing this event too. So that matchup to me is definitely the exciting one. I do think, like you said, that E United probably is going to get through Fury 1 fairly easily. I do think that the Fury 1 storyline is also very good, but E United looking very tough as well. So both those matches definitely are interesting.
Yeah, Fran, I'd ask you just final thoughts before we get ready for this interview. I think it's still being set up. But E United, they lost 3-0 to KCP, which it looks like they got kind of dominated on paper. But those were close games. I mean, do you think even they have a chance to potentially still win this tournament coming from losers?
Yeah, I mean, just build a little fire, finish out the day strong. And, we always say this, the tournament really starts on Sunday. If you make it to Sunday, anyone has a shot. As long as you keep building that momentum, it doesn't matter where you start on Sunday, as long as you finish, And so I would say they have a good chance. They have a great team. They've shown it, how many was it? 3 E-days that they won. They were great in Pro League. I just want to see them build that momentum again.
Yeah. Everything starts on Sunday, and of course, starting tonight is obviously very important to start to build that fire and build that momentum. So we'll see how United finishes. However, it's all about Pittsburgh Knights. That's the team to celebrate right now. We know we got a lot of Pittsburgh fans in the chat. Well, we got their coach ready for an interview. It's the one and only Demise. Let's go ahead and throw it over to Jordan.
Thanks, Fallout. Demise, congratulations on the win. It was a close one. Not going to lie, you had us all sweating around the group, but hey, you got it done. How are you feeling about the team's win?
We're feeling great. I'm a little bit overhyped right now, because that was a crazy ass match. We came up for a game plan last map, because we were failing in a lot of basic stuff. But thankfully we we got composed and we got the win.
Right. Was part of your game plan, that last trick strat that you guys threw out in the final round? We were kind of like, whoa, they're just coming out blazing,
I don't wanna reveal much.
Okay.
But basically what we're trying to do is waiting for them to make a move, and depending on the move they made, we counter it with something that we had.
Listen, I'm all about respecting keeping the secrets in the closet, so we will not get into more in depth with that. But you guys obviously are no stranger to these map 5 situations. I think we've seen it time and time again on broadcast. But as a coach, how do you really keep your guys in check mentally to be prepared for situations like that?
I mean, we have been here a million times. Basically every team now knows how to play, so it always boils down to whoever has the better discipline when you're doing your play and executing well is that's always whoever does that best is gonna win the map all the time.
Yeah, and do you also have to just reassure everyone in comms, hey, let's just keep them clear, keep them smooth,
Calm down, slow down, stuff like that.
Let's regroup and get it right. So, part of it also, time and time again, I think, especially in the last map, we saw Monkyz hit some huge sniper shots, but even throughout the match, Dezo hits big power weapon moves and everything. So, when you have so many assets like that on your team, Fearzly can pop off at any moment, and just the whole team can pop off. How scary is this roster?
It's scary because when you have players like that that can do everything, you don't have to slow down your gameplay. When you grab, for example, when you grab a power weapon, you just let's say Deso is the best sniper in the team. The good thing about having players that are good with those weapons as well is that when we make a play for the weapon, we don't have to switch anything. Just play like there and try to get all the kills we want in front of us. Sorry, but
no, I love it. Yeah, totally makes sense completely. So with the day over, you've got your ticket into winners finals. Congratulations, first team. So overall, look back at the day. What do you think about the team's performance overall?
To be honest, I expected to win 3-0. Like I said, we always have game plans for every team. And the way they play in Harbor was a little different. They play a lot of very aggressive on the top of the side, and that caught us off guard. And on Retail, we weren't playing like we used to. We weren't winning gunfights. We weren't leaving the setups when we had to. But that happens. But the best thing that you have to do is get composed. Because every team can do reverse sweep. So all you have to do is have composure and have a plan. And when you have a plan, you're not stressed because you have a control of the situation. So that's it. Well, we gotta keep the same gameplay, fix the little mistakes that we have, because that's basically what cost us the little stupid mistakes that we always work in. And I don't know why it happened, but it happened. But yeah, if we fix that, we watch BOD, we see what we have to do. We're gonna be ready for tomorrow, and hopefully we win it all.
Right. Thank you, Coach Demise. Sounds like you're cool, calm, collected, and always prepared. So we look forward to seeing you guys continue the play tomorrow. But for now, we are going to go over to a quick break. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the Gears 5 Winter Major presented by the Batman.